Ladies and gentlemen, you all are requested to please be seated. The ceremony is about to begin. Dear audience, you all are requested to please rise for the national anthem. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, Gunaidin, Salamat Paghi, and good morning to all of you. I, Komal Zahra Jafri, welcome you all to the day 3 of the 5th International Conference on Management Sciences at Lahore Garrison University. It is an honor to host this prestigious gathering of scholars, industry experts, and thought leaders as we continue exploring our theme, Sustainable Future, Artificial Intelligence, Innovation, and Leadership for a Resilient World. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm welcome to our guests from the University of Poonch, Rawalakot, and Foundation University, Islamabad. Dear audience, this 3-day conference was a collaborative effort among Lahore Garrison University, University of Poonch, Rawalakot, and Foundation University, Islamabad. Hosted by the Department of Management Sciences at Lahore Garrison University, the event featured insightful keynotes, engaging panel discussions, research presentations, and interactive workshops spread across all 3 campuses. To formally begin this event, I would like to request Mr. Mudassir Iqbal, Lecturer Islamic Studies from the University of Poonch, to recite a few verses of the Holy Quran.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والتين والزيتون وطور سينين وهذا البلد الأمين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والتين والزيتون وطور سينين والتين والزيتون وطور سينين وهذا البلد الأمين لقد خلقنا الإنسان في أحسن تقويم لقد خلقنا الإنسان في أحسن تقويم ثم رددناه أسفل سافلين إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات فلهم أجر غير ممنون. فما يكذبك بعد بالدين فما يكذبك بعد بالدين أليس الله بأحكم الحاكمين. صدق الله العظيم.
Jazakallah. Ladies and gentlemen, as we step into the final day of the discourse, let's begin with a thought-provoking panel discussion on AI-driven innovation for sustainable development, bridging academia, industry, and the government. Our moderator for today's session is Dr. Nayatul Haq, Chairperson, Department of Management Sciences at Lahore Garrison University. Please welcome Dr. Nayatul Haq to the stage. Our first panelist for today is Dr. Suleiman Shahid, who is an assistant professor at the Syed Babar Ali School of Science and Engineering at Lahore University of Management Sciences. Dr. Suleiman Shahid leads the Computer-Human Interaction and Social Experience Lab. Please welcome Dr. Suleiman Shahid. Our next panelist is Mr. Ehtisham Ali Raja. It is our pleasure to welcome Mr. Ehtisham Ali Raja, who is the Program Director at the National Business Education Accreditation Council. Mr. Ehtisham plays a pivotal role in shaping the quality and standards of business education across Pakistan. Please welcome Mr. Ehtisham Ali Raja. Our next panelist is Dr. Badli Shah Ahmed from Malaysia, who was also the keynote speaker at Foundation University, Islamabad. Please welcome Dr. Badli Shah Ahmed. Next, we have Ms. Kanwal Chima, who will be joining us online. Ms. Kanwal Chima is the founder and CEO of My Impact Meter. She has developed a digital platform that enhances transparency and accountability in charitable giving. Our final panelist for today is Dr. Begzadeh, who will also be joining online. He is an AI and generative AI consultant and a trainer in the United Kingdom. He has worked across academia, industry, and research centers, developing innovative AI solutions for sectors like healthcare, telecom, finance, and agriculture. Over to you now, Dr. Nayat.
Thank you, Ms. Komal. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and a very warm welcome to this important panel discussion on AI-driven innovation for sustainable development, bridging academia, industry, and government. I am Dr. Inayatul Haq, and it is my honor to guide this conversation where perspectives from policy, industry, academia, and global perspective converge. So let's start this discussion by understanding the role of AI in higher education institutions. So Professor Badli Shah, I'm just coming towards you. Sir, in your view, how do you envision AI transforming teaching and learning methodologies in higher education institutions, please? Please, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you to all. I've involved in teaching nearly 20 years. So, and then my experience in higher education, I still remember. The lecturer go to the whiteboard and just write everything. Remember? I don't know. It's still being implemented or not. And then we, as a student, we just take note. Sometimes we don't even understand what are the professors are teaching using the board. Previously maybe blackboard, after that whiteboard. And then when I become a lecturer, I think usually we will just follow the way our teachers teach us, right? So we follow that. And then I still remember using the transparent slide projector, transparent projector. And then later on, after that, when every lecturer will be given a laptop, and then we use the laptop then we use software, PowerPoint projector, and until now we are still using PowerPoint projector. So I think the evolution of teaching methodology in UC has changed quite rapidly, and now AI is here. Actually, AI has been here for so many years actually. So it just currently has been pointed out and it's been used widely. If you remember, IR 4.0 was talking about the IoT, big data, virtual reality. Actually, AI is also part of the element of Industrial 4.0. So when you ask me the methodology in higher education, of course, as a professor, we realize this evolution. So we cannot avoid from this kind of things to happen. So now when I start teaching, I use AI, especially when I want to improve my teaching slides. During sometime I use the slide. The slide has been used for so many years. Suddenly when I look at it, sometimes I also don't quite understand what's in the slide, in the lecture note. And we as lecturers, sometimes we teach a different subject. Every semester the dean will change a certain subject, so we will teach different subjects. So when you come to teach, sometimes you are given the subject that you are not quite familiar. So I think this is where AI is very good to be used, especially in higher education, to improve the way we teach. It cannot be the same the way we learn like 10, 20 years ago. So I use it to improve my content so that students are able to understand. And also now we can produce video and visual materials so that students can understand our subject matter that we teach. And now we have platform like e-learning platform. So we can put all our materials inside the platform and allow the student to follow their pace to understand the subject. Most of UC, I think university is quite lucky because we are dealing with students who wants to learn. I mean, we don't care about the student. We just give the material, so it's up to you to learn or not, isn't it? We only care when the marks are presented to the dean. The dean will ask why there are so much failure, or maybe why there are so much too many A grade students. So we only concern on that. So usually what we do, we just try to moderate the marks. But I think with AI, I think the professor will take it seriously. Actually, it's very important to make sure that the student understand what we teach. So using AI, you can improve your teaching material. You can add the teaching material, audio, visual, and kind of thing. And then you are able to track the student who are being left behind, who are being fast. In university, to be honest with you, a good student will always remain a good student. Seriously. You don't do anything. The lecturer sometimes don't even do anything. They just give material. The good student will become good student, inshallah. The bad also will become bad student. But we as an educator, actually we want to do some moderation. We want to make sure that all students manage to obtain the knowledge that we want to disseminate. So we want to make sure the students all understand. Nowadays we are talking about outcome-based education. You see, the task of teaching now becoming more burden. The reason is we want to have a good teaching methodology to make sure that we are able to send the information and the student get the knowledge. So I think there are many more in terms of teaching methodology. You can use virtual reality, augmented reality. So there are many methods. So I think AI will definitely change the way we teach. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, now we are moving towards policy perspective. So, Mr. Shamali Raja, as accreditation bodies seek to responsibly integrate AI in national education systems, so what do you think, what are the, emerging policy frameworks are being developed to facilitate and guide this process? Please, your take.
Assalamu alaikum and very warm welcome and good morning to all the audience. I'd like to thank General Khalil Dar Saab, Dr. Rizwana, Dr. Inayat and the entire team organizing committee for organizing this very important pertinent conference, and the concept of having it in 3 different universities was unique, and it encourages the national linkages. So I congratulate all, and I would say to continue this practice. Thank you, Dr. Inayat. And coming back to the question, being part of the Higher Education Commission and the Business Council, we are very much welcoming this concept of artificial intelligence and constantly evolving the process. The Business Council has its own training and development wing. So we are organizing trainings for the faculty of business schools about how to be more receptive for the technological advancements, and the future is reshaping with this. Even in our curriculum standard, the exam and assessment, we are asking the faculty to think of different ways of assessment by allowing the positive use of AI and this technology. We are working closely with the Ministry of IT, Ministry of Planning, about doing a sandbox, a piloting first before actually implementing this in the universities and higher education institutions, to see the positive use of this AI and ChatGPT and all the other tools which are available, and see the positive. Thank you very much for that interest.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Suleiman, coming to you, sir. Sir, as digitalization reshapes education delivery system, so how AI in general is having impact on this aspect, and also what are the most important and promising AI powerful tools or platforms you have seen that can truly personalize the learning experience for students in higher education? Please.
Thank you very much, everyone. Bahut shukriya for this kind invitation. I have been, driving in front of Garrison University, I think, for the longest period of time. Never been in, and it's such a stunning, beautiful campus. I was telling Dr. Saab Abhi, a good friend, Dr. Atif Chattha from long term 20 years ago, that it's such a pleasure to be here. And thank you, Dr. Rizwana and sir, for inviting me. I don't want to take away the beauty of the conference, but the screen was also beautiful. I think the first thing I said कि आप किसी जगह खाने पे sorry for my आप किसी जगह खाने पे जाए ना तो आप खाना बहुत अच्छा पका हो, आप दही की तारीफ करके आ जाओ, उनको बहुत गुस्सा आता है. So मैं भी वही काम कर रहा हूँ कि इतनी अच्छी conference set है और मैं screen की तारीफ कर रहा हूँ, but that's not the point. But it's just beautiful, but a great infrastructure and a great conference. Thank you very much. Coming back to the point. I think we have been having this conversation for a very long time, and I think there are 2 groups right now in the industry, in the market, who talk about AI. One group is very, it's very hopeful in a sense. They say that it's just another internet. We had cars, and then we had planes, and then we had computers, and then we have iPads, and all those things. So this is an evolution, and that's pretty much it. Another group is saying that AI is a completely different ballgame altogether. It's an agent, it works and acts very different way, and it is going to have a very different and transforming effect, something which we have not seen before. I belong to the other group. I personally believe that AI is a very different phenomena. The way and at the speed it has been introduced in education, in the world, in work, in the future of work, in future of education, I think it's going to have a huge impact. It's already having a big impact. So we need, and it has changed a lot. So all the students sitting here, I think they know more than professors how to use all these modern tools. And they also know how to game the system so damn well that we can't even get that. You know, we think we are catching up and we're not even remotely catching up. We think we have found a way, to check their assignments, and they have already a plan for the next 1 year and 6 months. So I think the pace is unprecedented. The pace is very different from internet. The pace is very different when we had a printing press, and pace is very different when we had computers and everything else. So I think, one thing is clear that we were dealing with the COVID generation, and we were just not ready for that, and now we have a ChatGPT generation. Right? So this is a whole transition from one generation to the generation, and they're going to have a huge impact when they go to the market, and the market is also not ready how to sort of absorb them, because the jobs are not ready for that. So it's a complete paradigm shift in the way we are thinking, in the way we are teaching, in the way we are preparing our students, and in the way market would be accepting them in a couple of years. So I think I want to be very open and candid about it. And there are a lot of good news, there are a lot of good opportunities, but there are also some scary news. It's not all good news. If we don't adopt and if we don't respond in an appropriate fashion, if we don't have a framework in an appropriate fashion, and if every university doesn't really start thinking about it systematically, and we should, with all due respect, I think the regulatory body are very, very important, but they come very, very late. Their HEC role is going to be very late. The moment they can understand how to have that in Pakistan, we'll be in a new technology. And that's how the pace of the government most of the time is. So I think we, as a university, every university has its own way of thinking, way of conducting, their business. So I think every university should really think about how to respond to that. And then, of course, a regulatory body can respond to that. So that's my second point. And third, about the tools and technologies, I think they don't really. Of course, we all know that GPT is a great tool, and then there are many, many other tools. But I think it's not really about tools. These tools are going to get better. It's how would you include them systematically at a part of your conversation in university settings. I think that's going to be the most important thing. And instead of running away from them, instead of banning them, I think they should be a part of every course. It should be required by the university that all the course outlines would be changed. There is no way that you can teach the same course with the same course outline. You just cannot teach that. It's just not going to work. You cannot have the same assessments जो आपकी 2 साल पहले थी. It's just impossible. So I think that's a third point. So it's a paradigm shift with the way we are teaching, the way we are studying, the way industry is going to work, and the way we're going to hire. So if we don't start from the university, I think we will see the results which we don't want to see in the coming days.
Thank you, Dr. Suleiman. He is already talking about the market acceptance, what we are producing for the market. So now we will move on towards the corporate and innovation side. Ms. Chima, can you hear us, please? Ms. Kamal Chima?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay. So, Ms., as someone hiring and upskilling talent, so what core competencies do you believe are most critical for graduates to thrive in AI-driven workforce? And how should academia evolve to meet those demands? Please.
Sorry, your question, I could hear parts of it, but not all of it. So can you just give me a gist of it?
So, what core competencies industry demands from the graduates who are just graduating from the universities? So, please, your take on.
Maybe you write the question in the chat.
What core competencies required from the industry to the graduates who are just graduating from the universities? Core competencies we are talking about.
कहते हैं आवाज नहीं आ रही।
Anyone can
आपको
please write it down?
आपको आवाज आ रही है? मेरी आ रही है आपको आवाज?
Right now, I just got the question in the chat. So,
Okay,
what
chat
core
में आ गया।
competencies are demanded from graduates these days? So, I think the core competencies remain the same, which is the basic programming languages, whatever area they're going into, whatever field they're going into. The core competencies remain very much the same. However, what AI does is that AI enhances those core competencies, and AI greatly improves productivity. So, just in my organization, if I give you an example, so for example, the marketing managers, they can, whatever they used to do in 10 days, they can now do those things in 2 hours. So they can design an entire marketing campaign. They can design videos, scripts for videos, ads. They can design posts through AI in minutes. And so the basic knowledge of marketing they need to have. But AI can greatly enhance their productivity, and whatever time they would spend earlier, AI can greatly enhance that, right? So now in the future, you will not need to be an IT student or a coder or a programming, your programming language expert. And it's not only going to be the fact that you need AI or you're developing AI, especially if you're in Pakistan. So if you know, in Pakistan, we don't have access to NVIDIA GPUs. It's banned over here. You can't buy them. And China is developing its own APUs, but they still have the whole ecosystem, the firmware, and everything else to develop yet. So they're not there yet in terms of the basic building block of AI. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that when it comes to the race that everybody's in, some of these, China, the US, and some of these companies, the race that they're in, trying to develop the best chatbot, trying to develop the best AI system, we're probably not in that race. But what we can be really good at is leveraging AI for product. So for example, Pakistan is the third largest freelancer producing country. So we have the third largest population of freelancers. Very quickly in the future, all of these freelancing low-end jobs that we do, like graphic designing, web development, video editing, social media marketing, virtual assistants, all of these jobs are going to get automated through AI. So the service economies, especially the low-end service economies that we are a part of, we are going to lose those jobs very quickly. So if we can start leveraging AI to produce or greatly enhance our productivity, that's the only way that this is going to survive. So what I was saying was that instead of us being the greatest machine learning designers or whatever, whether we are producing in our universities, whether we're producing doctors, we're producing real estate agents, we're producing engineers, we're producing marketers, any discipline that we're producing, we need to make them learn on how to leverage AI to greatly enhance their productivity, and not just chat GPT, but there's so many other tools. And now there is this new concept of AI agentics that we're testing in our organization. So what AI agentics is, basically you create an AI agent which takes an autonomous task end to end. So, for example, in sales, you have an AI agent that will go scrap LinkedIn, will find your relevant profiles of the relevant customers that your company targets, and then will start reaching out to them after understanding each of them. So, for example, they will reach out to a person after understanding what that person is, what their writing style is, what they're interested in, what they've posted about. And so a very personalized email to this person. And then once they respond, then they will pass that on to the next level salesperson or an inside salesperson to follow on. So you can be generating thousands and thousands of leads 24 hours a day through AI in sales. So similarly, that's what I mean. Like if you're a real estate agent now in Dubai, They've got real estate agents through AI, who are completely autonomous, who are reaching out to thousands of potential clients in real time, right? So the idea is that anybody who starts to leverage AI in the short term is going to outperform or outjob those who don't leverage AI, irrespective of what industry they're in, irrespective of what degree they're doing, they're going to start outperforming them. And in the future, we can't even tell what's going to happen, right? So in the future, we can't even tell after 5 or 10 years how this is going to evolve. I reckon that the way we work, live, play, learn is radically going to change. And it's probably too early to predict what's going to happen.
Thank you for those insights, Ms. Jima. Now we are moving towards Dr. Baik. Can you hear us, please? Dr. Baik?
Hello, good morning to everybody from UK.
Good morning, sir.
And I thank you for inviting me in this conference. And as a person who has been in this field for more than 40 years, of course I graduated, I got my PhD from Essex University in 1992 in artificial intelligence. And since then I've been working in academia and research centers and industry, and I've had a very special interest in applying AI in education system. So you may be surprised if I say the first expert system I developed for education and teaching differential equation was in 1993. So at that time it was very early, of course. But since then I've been developing different systems, but I mean e-learning system, intelligent e-learning system based on semantic technology, fuzzy system, decision making, and so many aspects of AI applied in education system. But based on the strategy for using AI in education system, I also work on Education 4.0 or some sort of sustainable development of, in fact, education system. That is very important at this level if we want to, as a matter of fact, maintain the improvement and development of our education. We need to strategically rely on not only AI techniques and technology and algorithm, but also we have to lay down infrastructure at the government level and even the regional level in order to combine research and development as well as deployment by involving government, private sector, public sector, universities, research centers together. And I usually propose a center of excellence in order to manage and maintain the consistency of development and develop a system which is organic in terms of matching and adapting with, in fact, evolution of technology. Because everybody knows within the last 2-3 years, since ChatGPT came to the picture, in fact, the awareness of the public increased dramatically. I remember 2015, when I was talking about big data, nobody was listening. Even the first question, the first public talk I had as a keynote speaker in a conference was mobile learning, intelligent mobile learning. Yes, when? 2005. But everybody looking at me and saying, what you're talking about. But now when you talk about AI application in education, you can figure out that everybody is interested to know how to do it. So I suggest now at this stage to think about education system or future education system in terms of not only the content of education that should be changed dramatically, also the infrastructure, the fairness of the services and access to the data, to the software, to the education and content based on some sort of sustainable policies and strategies in the country. So if you are interested, I can explain more in detail, but I'm sure that my time is limited. And if I want to just summarize my talk, I have to highlight this one. We need personalized learning, inclusive tools for in access to anyone. Everyone can have access to tools, learning, content, data, and policies, of course, to support them, and various type of researcher and private and public sectors should support this movement toward future education. Definitely, the current situation of education should be changed dramatically, because this set of tools or AI is not like normal tools in the past. It's going to have a strong impact on the future of education and also other aspects of our life. So I stop here, and I would be very happy to continue this discussion in this session.
Thank you, Dr. Baik. For on a lighter note, sir, for all those who wonders, well, we have already sent a question through chat to Dr. Baik. So now moving towards another round of questions, Professor Badlisha, I'm coming to you. Sir, what are the primary challenges associated with the integration of AI-driven tools and curricula into higher education? Please.
Yeah, it is quite challenging. So I will mention about a few issues challenging in integrating AI. Number one, I think, because the tool is accessible, right? We need to know how to use the tools. So number one is the ethical concerns. Because AI, this machine just generating information for you. So which one is the correct, which one is incorrect? So as a user, I think ethically we should check whether the information is correct or not. Because these are some of the ethical concerns. We want to make sure that wherever that we have produced based on AI, we have to take the responsibility. And for example, if you produce some writing, you have to be responsible. You can't just say that if something is wrong regarding your writing, you want to put the blame to AI. It is not right, isn't it? Because yeah, maybe some of the information that you gather or that you have generated is from the AI, and yes, AI get that information somewhere from its database, from the internet, so from the website. So ethically, as a user, you should be able to know whether the data generated by the AI is correct, and you should take the responsibility. You can't just blame the AI for whatever thing that you have done wrong. I think in terms of policy also, at the university we have used the software like Turnitin. So we want to make sure we check in terms of similarity. You can't just, during internet, what we do is we copy paste. Now AI can just write. So we need to have Turnitin integrated with AI detection. And at this particular moment, we don't have any specific policy on how much AI generated can be acceptable. Is it like Turnitin similarity? We can say less than 10%, less than 5%. But if AI generated, what is the acceptable level of percentage has been generated by AI? Is it 50%, 40%? So still it's not clear. So in terms of ethics and the guideline of using AI still need to be done. So that is quite challenging for all any organization or universities. I think the second one is, I don't know whether everybody has access to AI. AI tools, some are free, some need to be paid. Of course, the paid one will give you more, will give you or serve you more information rather than the free one. So it is very important as a university or higher education to make sure that everyone has the same access to the same technology. If not, then you might find that there are some students has the access to the paid services and they produce a very good writing and so on. So in terms of accessibility, make sure everyone has that access. And regarding the software and regarding the hardware as well, computer. I know sometimes you use the handphone, but I think we need also, university also need to have, to provide access to computer, to put as much computer as possible. And then not only hardware, the internet must be very good as well. You know, suddenly you ask ChatGPT or DeepSeek question and then they say, there's no connection. So, you know, in terms of accessibility to the student and in terms of the infrastructure need to be provided. Not only, again, in terms of ethics, we need to give training to the student as well. But it's not only the student. We facing challenges also for the academic staff, right? So they also know, they also should know what are the tools can be used. You know, sometimes lecturers, you know, don't be surprised that some lecturers, they don't even care about AI. You know, they think, oh, this is just a hype. You know, that it will lose somewhere in time. People will forget about AI. No, actually, some lecturers also need to be trained using this tool, especially the senior lecturer. For the young lecturer, like I think like Dr. Sulaiman, no problem. He's very young, so he's well versed of using all these tools. But what worries me, like the senior academic staff, you know, sometimes they also don't want to use the mobile phone, don't want to use the computer. So it's quite challenging. So I think one of it is the training. We need to have a proper training from multiple levels, from beginners, intermediate, advanced, for all the academic staff, as well as the student. I'm not saying this because I think the Vice Chancellor is not here, right? So I think the top management, university's top management should encourage. There's no point of the lecturers, you know, keep saying we need to use AI, the dean keeps saying AI, a student use AI, when the top management does not encourage. So it will not happen. So it's quite challenging because people, like the industries, the lady mentioned just now, you know, there are certain traits that they also require the student to have in order for them to function very well at the industries. So if you don't have support from the top management, it's going to be very difficult. So I think enough of that. All right, that can be so long. So at that point, that are the challenges that will be faced mostly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor. These are really insights. You talked about the challenges, what as an academician we are facing challenges, what the students are expecting from us. It's really an insightful talk. Now moving towards, again, Sir Raja. Sir, ensuring access to AI resources is a pressing concern. And what strategies can policymakers implement to guarantee inclusive distribution of AI resources across both urban and rural institutions? Sir, your take on this point, please.
Thank you, Dr. Naid. Regarding the access to urban and remote areas, the Higher Education Commission and the Ministry of IT and the government is taking measures to have good access and connectivity everywhere. But right now is a challenge in some parts of our country, like Balochistan, interior Sindh, and that there's high-speed internet is not available. But Higher Education Commission has a PERN network in all the universities where we're trying to provide the high-speed connectivity. Like Dr. Badli, I agree with him that ethics, connectivity, and training of faculty is very vital for this. And not just the students, but the faculty also need to be aware. And one of my concerns was regarding the, the information that we get from the artificial intelligence, how authentic it is. Sometimes it's a hallucination factor that when you have a prompt and you ask something to ChatGPT, it creates its own context based on the data that it has. So one has to be clear to authenticate and validate that information. So that's my suggestion on that. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Shyam Raja talked about the faculty training. So, Dr. Suleiman, please, we are coming with this point, like, how can faculty and academic leadership be better equipped to adopt their teaching methods in response to AI-driven changes in curriculum design and student engagement? So, please, sir.
How many of you sitting here and the students are using ChatGPT on weekly basis? Raise your hands. I knew that. इसलिए मैंने पहले daily कहने लगा था, मैंने खुद जानबूझ के daily नहीं कहा. So daily basis, almost all of you, including faculty, all of you using. So I think the most important thing we need to begin with, we need to understand how students actually using this tool. That's a starting point. If you don't understand how they're using it, there's no way that you can plan for things which are helpful for them. So I think this is a very interesting and symbiotic relationship which we need to develop with technology, where we understand what the good use of technology is. But the problem right now is, for many of them, they don't understand they're playing with the fire. Right? So they don't understand that because it's a quick win. It's a win for the next 1 hour. It's a quick win in terms of assignments. It's a quick win in terms of getting things done very, very quickly. So they don't understand, and that's perfectly fine. That's not their job, you know. They want to get things done very, very quickly, and now they have a tool, and they will use it as extensively as possible so that they can play football, or they can walk under the sun, or whatever they want to do. That's fine. But it is our responsibility from day one to understand what the use is, and what the good use is, what the bad use is, and how do we make a policy out of it. So my proposal is that if we don't get that part right, there is no way you can do anything else. So first admit, first accept that there's extensive use. Also accept that they're not telling you they're using it. You know, they can always tell you that, you know, बिल्कुल नहीं किया, बस थोड़ा बहुत किया है, you know, इतना ज़्यादा भी नहीं किया, cheap version इस्तेमाल किया है, पेड तो है ही नहीं, you know, all those things. But that's not true. Right? There was a report right now from an American university where they were saying that CS200, which is a very, very important computing course, 78% of the assignments were done using GPT, and there was more than 80% of the use of GPT in those assignments. So in 3 years, you have a change where students, 80% of the students were doing programming assignments at their own. Now you have moved where 80% of them using AI, and many of them have no clue how are they doing it. So they have a good answer, but they don't know how the good answer comes. It's the same use of calculator. So you arrive at a conclusion without doing it. So my point is that it is a faculty-first approach. That's it. We need to change ourselves. We need to be proactive, and students will come late. Management will come late. It is first me, individual, who has to change. That's it.
So sir, should we encourage students to use the ChatGPT for the assignments?
Absolutely. You don't have an option. You don't have an option.
So, all the students are clapping.
No, find a way that you give people eye, and they're allowed to open their eye, and you tell them don't see. How can they not see? You know, and once they have seen something, you can't unsee it. You tell them that this is a beautiful thing, you only see it once and you're allowed to see it. You cannot undo that. So once they know what the magic of ChatGPT is, you can't take them away from that. It's just not possible. So unko bura wala mat ke, don't tell them that why do you use it. Make a system in which they can use it in an ethical, legal and productive way. And that is for that I have to change myself. I get money for that. That's my job. There is no other way. I wish there was a way, I don't know that way.
Indeed, it's a wonderful advice for all the teachers. So please be prepared, be proactive. So thank you, Dr. Suleiman. Now we are moving towards Ms. Chima. Ms. Chima, can you hear us, please?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So building on that, Ms. Tima, how is your organization utilizing AI to tackle challenges and sustainability simultaneously? Please.
Right. So I just would like to comment a little bit on the previous question that you had, and I think that I really agreed with the last
Please.
speaker. So one of the things is that when you started using calculator, when the calculators came, essentially the math testing changed. You weren't testing students for calculations anymore. It evolved. And so I think, as the last speaker said, we will need to evolve. So what AI has done is that it's commoditized intelligence. I just saw a LinkedIn post very recently where it was a really well-written LinkedIn post about a very difficult topic. And I know the person who has written it, and I know that that person could not have written it. I know that that person does not have the depth or the substance to write such kind of a post. But you know, that's what you've done now. People were awarded or had different jobs or different roles in society because of the level of intelligence or the level of output that they could produce. But very soon in the future, because you've commoditized that very ability, that intelligence, which has never been done in the history of humankind, humanity will evolve. It will significantly evolve, and the way you teach, the way you test, will have to significantly change. So maybe, you know, when students write assignments with AI, maybe in class they might be asked to analyze them. They might be asked to write a critique on what AI has written and what they think AI could have written better or something. I don't know. I mean, something like that. But we will need to evolve. In terms of how my organization uses AI, like I said, now right now we've started using AI to massively increase our productivity. We have also started testing with AI agentics or AI agents, where we are getting AI to do autonomous tasks for us end to end completely on their own. So this is something that we're testing, and if we're successful, we're going to resell these AI agents to other small businesses in Pakistan and across the world as well. And then the third thing that we're doing is there's something called mass customization, which is an oxymoron, right? So something that's done in mass cannot be customized, something that's customized cannot be done in mass. But now leveraging AI, you can achieve that. I mean, you can really personalize based on whatever your customer is. So like I said, even before, when we reach out from a sales perspective or to get new customers onboarded, AI first scraps to their social media, understands them in a lot of detail, and then crafts an email where it knows that it will hit that person. It will really talk to that person, reach out to that person specifically. So this is mass customization. And in terms of the solutions that you give to your existing customers as well, you can enhance them, you can personalize them. And so that's another way that we are leveraging AI. Now, some of our other customers who are leveraging AI, you know, some of I'm a consultant as well, and we consult with lawyers, and what they're doing is that they're able to look into massive amounts of contracts and figure out exactly where, if there's even a single clause in a contract which is, which is out of order, or which is has been put there um, uh, without discussion, AI can pick it out. AI can look into behaviors that are being done in an organization and then see if they're compliant with the policy of the organization after going through massive policy documents. AI can help with detecting fraud very quickly and very efficiently. So, I mean, there's so many applications in which AI has massively reduced error, has massively enhanced productivity, has massively improved customer experience because of the personalization that it provides, and it has looked and gotten insights from where the naked human eye would either need to spend a lot of time or would not be able to pick up those things, or looks over those things. So it has been able to find those things, like finding a needle in a haystack. And then the most beautiful thing about AI, so people sitting in this room, somebody would be an amazing professor in economics, right? But they would not know anything about marine biology. Another person would be an amazing cardiologist, but they would not know anything about, let's say, war games or war strategy. But what AI can do is AI can integrate all these diverse. So a human being can be an expert in maybe one, and if you're very, very intelligent, maybe three things. You can be an expert in maybe three things, and then you can be jack of trades for many others. An AI system can be an expert. Cognitive systems can be experts in many, many different things, and then have the ability to integrate and find interdisciplinary insights from all of those diverse fields. So, how economic games, for example, can apply to war strategy, can apply to marine biology, or etc. So, and I think this is where we will, from an academia perspective as well, these disciplinary assignments will need to be formulated, where AI gives insights, and then students maybe write or come up with critique of that, and different subject matter experts sit together and brainstorm on those different things and give further insights. So I'll wrap up here, but I think that there's a huge potential that is up ahead, and I think the advantage that we had of the fact that some were more intelligent than others is going to very soon not remain an advantage anymore.
Thank you, Ms. Rima. She talked about how we can be a productive and efficient by using AI. So take it as AI as an opportunity, not a threat. So we need to be more collaborative. And now we are moving towards Dr. Baik. So Dr. Baik, as we consider collaboration between key players, what proven models exist for effectively aligning academia, industry, and government to co-develop impactful AI innovations for sustainable education? Please.
All right, thank you very much. Very important question. Based on my experience, I've been working in academia and research centers and industry, as well as government. In fact, I have this experience that if we cannot maintain sustainable collaboration between all these organizations, definitely we would not be successful in integrating and implementing AI in country, and particularly improve education to the next level. So as a matter of fact, most of the countries, they have different sectors working separately, like education, research center, and researchers develop some sort of innovative ideas and systems. And then industry or business companies are not in relation with the outcome of the universities, of the papers, of the theses are going to the library and nobody uses it, and government cannot support it. So nowadays, we need some sort of integration, and the right model, I was working on it, and while I was working in the research center, I was playing this role in order to maintain the relationship between research centers, universities, and business units and companies and industries, and also government policies, because government policies should support all financial and grants and policies and regulations, and business units should identify what are the demands of the market and what needs should be highlighted to the universities. And universities and research centers should know and be aware of market needs and focus and target that one. So if we cannot maintain this relationship and each party play their own role in order to move as some sort of integrated body in the country, they would not be able to succeed. And definitely we call this situation valley of death, because the output of each part is not useful for the other part. So everybody works on their own direction, and there is no integration and coordination between the outcome of each individual partner. So if you want to be sustainable, the model is not only to maintain the relationship based on certain roadmap, based on certain vision for at the national scale, but also we have to support innovative activities, the researchers, university, in fact, activities in order to guide them under certain umbrella of a vision for the country, and based on certain strategic roadmap, they have to move forward to that extent that all the activities integrate together, support each other, and at the end of the day, the whole nation get the benefit of this activity. So I believe in order to make this effort at the national scale, we need some sort of organization or institution in order to do all this collaboration, all this integration together, and make sure that the outcome of all activities in different parties are combined together with a very clear objective and with a clear benefit for the nation.
Thank you, Dr. Baik. Professor Badrisha, I'm coming again to you. So we have talked about AI's role in teaching, how we can modify ourselves, upgrade ourselves. So what's your take on that? Like what kind of teaching methodologies we need to adopt to cope up with these challenges in this digital era, please?
This extra question, quite similar question actually with the first one. As I said, throughout my experience here, as a senior academic, I think, we need to learn. We need to learn. I mean, that's why university should help not only the young lecturers or young faculty members, but the seniors also need some helps. You know, it's quite, because we used to traditional ways of teaching. So it need to be changed. So my suggestion is, get training. A university should provide training, at least on what to use and how to use. So you cannot run away, because at the end, this is technology that we cannot run away from it.
Case studies are becoming more relevant to the class teaching rather than a traditional method.
Correct. Should be new method. New method to make sure that the average student are able to absorb all the information, being taught by the lecturers.
And how we can use AI in research, because you are head of research and innovation center as well. So please.
Yeah. Research long time ago when I tried to write my thesis, I still remember. Even to write 2 sentences, it take 2 days. Seriously, during that time, because we need so much time to think, and especially like us, we are not English speakers, right? It is not naturally come to us to come up with a good writing. So nowadays, because it's AI, we can just get one paragraph, one page of writing. So it is quite difficult to cope with. So for research, I think, do you know that there is one published article published by two? I don't know to say 2 person. One is a human, one is a ChatGPT. There was one paper published. The author is ChatGPT, and the other one is human. I can't remember the name. It is in the nurse field. I don't know whether you have seen there. At first, there you see research. We before any policies, before any guideline has been come out regarding the AI. So it is. I don't know whether it's going to be very. It should help. In my point of view, it should help. It doesn't deter that we deter from do any research. So AI should help and expedite and make our research more efficient. You should try. You just give a graph of picture to the chat AI and ask it to give their conclusion or their summary on that. So it is very good. I just ask ChatGPT. Actually, where I was talking about how much percentage accepted for AI generation, like similarity index, like turning in, we know like acceptable around 10 or 5%, right? But when I serve and I ask the AI, I think there are some guideline of accepted generated AI information is around 20%.
Dr. Suleiman, please. Continuing on collaboration, how can academic institutions actively engage with industry to co-create AI-driven solutions that support both education and sustainability goals?
How industry and academia can work together, that's what, okay. I would say that it's an important question, but many of our universities, unfortunately, are not there yet. And there are multiple reasons. First of all, this is the most common question we get all the time, that how industry and academia can work together. And industry always says that we need a fully cooked person, and academia says that we need to make sure that somebody knows how to write a nice code. So there's always this battle. Instead of us answering this question in detail, my closing note would be that AI is going to be a threat for a professor who thought teaching was a part-time activity. So if we will have to go back to teaching as a full-time activity, and once we start taking as a full-time important activity, we'll be able to produce students in a very careful fashion, systematic fashion, which are not only good citizens, but also a good fit for the industry. Education has changed, is going to change dramatically, and I think that's the only way we can answer this change is by changing ourselves as a faculty member, and that's my last point on this important topic. That's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been an incredibly enriching and forward-thinking discussion, from ethical leadership and strategic policymaking to practical innovation and global equity. Today's panel has covered the full spectrum of AI's potential in transforming education for a better, resilient, and more sustainable future. With this, I would now like to thank our panelists who have shared insights on AI and SDGs to conclude this impactful session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nayat. Thank you, Dr. Nayat, and all of our panelists. Moving forward, esteemed dignitaries, respected keynote speakers, distinguished presenters, and participants, as we proceed with the culmination of this 3-day conference, which is in fact the 5th conference hosted by the Department of Management Sciences, we'd like to share a brief look at our journey of previous conferences, illustrating how we have consistently addressed the sustainability and role of technology in advancing progress. Let's have a look.
पहले तो यह कि I was extremely honored and privileged to come to this wonderful campus.
Thank you so much.
Lahore Garrison University is a remarkable institution. The Vice Chancellor, the faculty and the students, absolutely great player.
It's a matter of great pleasure and honor to attend this international conference, second international conference on sustainability and education organized by Lahore Garrison University. I think that it's a responsibility of all the universities, not only LGU, but all the universities in the public and private sector, to be concerned about the impact which they are having on development of the country which they are serving. So that development could be in the context of, particularly in the education sector, in the context of inclusive education. It could be in the context of, for example, creation of jobs, creation of opportunities for employment, and also provision of equality of opportunities and equality of access to not only people on the basis of gender, but also on the basis of ethnicity, race, religion, and social class.
I think at the outset I would like to first congratulate Vice Chancellor Dar Saab of the Lahore Garrison University for organizing such a marvelous conference with his team, including Dr. Rizwana and all others.
I now request the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Lahore Garrison University, and the conference chair, Professor Dr. Rizwana Bashir, to please come on the stage and award a souvenir to Dr. Suleiman Shahid, who was our panelist from the panel discussion. Moving forward, Lahore Garrison University extends a very special thank you to the students and faculty from the University of Management and Technology. We really appreciate your presence and your spirit of interaction. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an inspiring lineup of thought-provoking keynote speeches from national and international experts. To begin with, our first keynote speaker is Mr. Amir Mumtaz, who has traveled all the way from New York to be with us today. Mr. Amir Mumtaz is a seasoned restructuring and turnaround advisor, entrepreneur, and investor. With vast experience in guiding businesses through transformation and growth, he has been instrumental in shaping strategic solutions for struggling enterprises and helping them regain stability and success. Let's give a warm welcome to Mr. Amir Mumtaz as he takes the stage.
Well, Assalamu alaikum everyone, and thank you, Dr. Rizwana Bashir and Vice Chancellor Dar for having me. Privileged to be here, and I hope I can say a few useful things for our audience and give you something to think about. So I'm going to take a slightly different angle. I'll be speaking from a macro perspective, and I'll speak as somebody who's from the private sector, somebody who's from the industry, and also as somebody who's from the West. I'll give you some points, and hopefully you will find them useful. They will affect you. You know, you might say, why talk from a macro perspective? Because these events will affect you. They will affect your quality of opportunity, your access to capital, and how much tax you end up paying. So that you might find them useful. So let's start with some global trends. I'll talk about 5 different areas. Obviously, small amount of time, so I'll be speaking as fast as I can. But I'm going to cover what's going on in the world as far as the global reordering is concerned. What are the big financial problems that the world is dealing with? There's also societal problems that are impacting how things are progressing. And then we obviously have AI and innovations, and we've had an excellent panel. So I think that area is covered the best. And then the last thing is governance, you know, the difficulties and challenges with global governance. So we've got the big power rivalry taking place right now. One power thinks that the other one is not playing by the rules, and it's caused a large transfer of wealth from whatever we think of it. The West is still the most powerful bloc in the world. The West still has the most money, the most innovation, the most development, research, etc. The rest of the world is either a user of that in that development and that research or that innovation, or it's a mass producer, but it's not an original developer. So the West position is still very strong and still very important. So the big problem in the United States and the EU at the moment is a debt. We have a large debt in the country that's become unsustainable. And if you note very carefully what the US administration is doing right now, the 2 people in the administration who are both from the private sector, a point worth noting, they are focusing on just 2 problems. One problem is a debt, which is caused by a fiscal deficit. What is a fiscal deficit? Where a country spends more than they earn, more than they generate or earn from their taxes. Do you know any country who does that frequently? Our own country, Pakistan. The second big thing that the West is grappling with, and the United States government, is a trade imbalance. It's good to trade with each other. Countries trade a lot, and that's a good thing. But the trade needs to have a level of balance. What we have seen in the last 30 to 40 years, the imbalance has grown to a point where it's become very threatening to the country who are on the negative end of that imbalance. United States is on a negative end of that imbalance. Pakistan is too. We have a trade imbalance with most of our trading partners, except one, which is actually, ironically, the United States. And you will hear the President Trump saying that the damage of trade imbalance is being caused more by friends rather than foes. And that's also the case in Pakistan. You know, we have a larger trade imbalance with our friends than we have people that we don't, consider as our great friends, ironically. What are the implications? Something needs to happen to deal with the debt. Otherwise, we have a situation where a country is just surviving or existing just to service the debt. A whole economy of a West African country or a country in the global south is all they're doing is just the whole population is working so that they can generate enough revenue to pay the debt. That's a terrible thing to be taking place, and we need to think about that too. That our own economy is now very much about servicing the debt. There's less for the people, less for the welfare of the population, which is a very bad situation to be in, and we need to be, thinking about that. Countries can no longer continue overspending. We overspend in Pakistan, we overspend in the United States. The magic number is 3 or 4%, but most of the countries are spending twice as much. The deficits are twice as much. And that's unsustainable because it leads to huge amounts of debt. And you might think that, well, how does that affect me? It does affect you because all of your, your income is shrinking because your money is going towards servicing the debt. This needs to be addressed. Now, I'll talk a little bit about the societal problems. They may not be that, relevant to you, but, it's good, it's worth noting. There's the left and right tussle taking place across the world, especially in the Western world. And what happens there is that each area, each side, pushes for things, thinking that they will address some of the grievances they have, but sometimes they don't. But the side pushing for it forgets to look at the outcomes. There's less understanding or care of the outcomes. Extreme positions are taken for minorities, which are affecting the rights of majorities. Let me move on quickly. What does this mean? We get extreme polarization in society. We get merit replaced by some other factors. We also have diminishing of personal responsibility and reliance. And nowadays, words like immigration, multiculturalism are not very popular. The West is not looking for huge amounts of immigration, whether that's illegal or legal. Even legal, they want to curtail immigration because they're looking to preserve their own cultures, and they feel that mass immigration affects their culture. AI, I'll talk a little bit about that, but I think that was well covered before. It's obviously going to affect lots of professions. It will improve efficiency and productivity, but it will shrink the amount of work available. And a lot of the work will become high-end, but then the question comes up, how do we train the people? How do we offer opportunities for junior people so they can reach to that senior level? Those are the big questions. There'll be an impact on labor market. There'll be less work and hence less jobs. Those are the big concerns. And also there'll be less opportunities for training and skills development. Those seems to be the biggest concerns right now. Now, governance. So the governance in the United States, in the EU, and in the Western Bloc has seen a huge deterioration. We are worried about the governance in Pakistan, so we should be. But the West has also seen very big slide in the quality of governance. The governments in the EU, United States, and other large nations in the West, they fail to deal with deindustrialization. They fail to deal proactively with the rising debt, with the deficits. They haven't been able to do something about it. And they've allowed societal dysfunctions to persist, which has created all the problems in society. Most of the governments in the West, some of you might be happy to hear this because, you're always worried about Pakistan and you think everybody else is doing very well. That's not the case. Most of the governments in the West also have dysfunction and diminishing of capacity. They have low capacity to solve problems. Problems occur, but they're acting more like bystanders and spectators. And they're not doing a good job on delivering for the population. Opportunity, job, and quality of life, growth, etc. They're not doing a good job of it. And Just go back 1 second. So I'll come on to Pakistan now, but I missed one point. Well, I'll see what I can come back to that. So Pakistan. Pakistan has all of these problems. We have the weaknesses, which are very acute. We have a large debt crisis, and that does affect every one of us here. We also have a fiscal crisis because we keep spending more than we're generating. And we have a trade imbalance, as I said, with most trading partners, even the ones that are very, very friendly countries to us. We have a huge trade imbalance, and that cannot persist for very long. We've got, governance challenges. We all know about it. And there's an absence of capacity to reform. Everybody talks about reforms, but they're not happening in Pakistan in a serious way. We have our societal flaws, terrorism, violence, intolerance, etc. But before you all feel too despondent, we have some very amazing strengths. First, and we need to build on them. We have good family systems, we have good fraternity, very strong, and we have a highly resilient population. And we have high levels of personal agency. People are able to solve their own problems, find solutions, and get on with it with minimum help, with lots of obstacles. That's what personal agency is all about. So I want to talk to what does it mean for you? By you, I mean every student in this room, and faculty to some extent, but this is mostly about you. When you're focusing on your education, focus more about learning useful things. Certifications, qualifications are good, but you need to have something that adds value. And put yourself as part of a value chain. Find a value chain where you can insert yourself and become indispensable. I'd also ask all students to study philosophy, from all kinds of regions and areas. Don't get hooked on any particular philosopher, but you'll find that this will make your life a lot easier if you take a dose of philosophy on and off. As far as earning a living is concerned, accept that there will be fewer jobs than needed. Unfortunately, Pakistan is suffering from deindustrialization, and the private sector is very small. The government sector is already overstaffed, so you have to accept that there will be fewer jobs available than we need. But the good thing is you can fall back on some other things like self-employment, startups, which are traditionally seen as IT, software type of companies, but also small businesses, very legitimate ways of getting into enterprise and developing yourself. And finally, franchising, replicating a partner. The more specialized you are, the better. And find new ways of applying technology to create value so you can generate an income for yourself. So, personal traits, you have to expect something, push your government to deliver for you, but at the same time, don't count on it. Focus more on your personal agency. Fall back on your family, networks, etc. Make a plan, but it's more important to be able to have the ability to adapt if the plan doesn't work, because most plans don't work first time around. So you need to be able to have that tenacity to find workarounds. Vision. And I want to finish on one point. The most valuable asset and the most precious quality that we all have is our personal agency. That's worth protecting. And if somebody said to me that, look, tomorrow I'll give you 50 million people and I'll give you $50 billion and I want you to create a new country and I want you to make that country work, there'll be no more loans, there'll be no more IMF. That country of 50 million has to work and your startup capital is $50 billion. Who would I bet on? Would I bet on the people of Pakistan? Would I take 50 million from Pakistan? Or would I take 50 million from the Gulf countries? Guess who I would bet on? I would bet on you. I would bet on the people of Pakistan because they have tremendous agency and they survive and they thrive and they do their best despite so many challenges, despite not being born with a country, not be born with the natural resources and all kinds of other handicaps. So I would bet on the people of Pakistan. And if you ask somebody from the Gulf countries, they would all probably, if they were honest, they would probably say the same. We would go, stand behind the people of Pakistan because they've shown that they've got what it takes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. That was indeed very insightful. Ladies and gentlemen, we will shortly proceed with our next keynote speaker. Our chief guest has arrived. We're just waiting for him. We will shortly proceed with the next speaker in a while. Students at the back, you are requested to please maintain silence. Ladies and gentlemen, our chief guest has arrived. You all are requested to please rise and welcome the Honorable Mr. Malik Muhammad Ahmed Khan, Speaker Punjab Assembly. Welcome, sir. Your presence adds great value to this ceremony. We just had a panel discussion revolving around the use of AI in academia, industry, and the government. Then we had our keynote speaker, Mr. Amir Mumtaz, and now we will proceed towards our next keynote speaker, which is Ms. Falahat Imran. Ms. Falahat Imran is a dynamic leader and advocate for women's economic empowerment. She is the president of the Women Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the CEO of Print Shop. With a strong commitment to fostering entrepreneurship and leadership among women, she has played a pivotal role in shaping business opportunities and advocating for inclusivity in the corporate world. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Falahat Imran to the stage.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Respected Chief Guest, respected Vice Chancellor, and ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and good morning. It is truly an honor to speak today on the subject that sits at the intersection of innovation, inclusion, and impact. Sustainable future, artificial intelligence, innovation, leadership for a resilient world. Here, I would add sustainable future through women entrepreneurs. Today, as we work towards building a resilient and inclusive world, we must recognize that the empowerment of women entrepreneurs is not just a development goal, it is an economic imperative. When they are given financial freedom, we see them as catalysts of change. They integrate sustainability, ethical practices, and community development to their business models. Their leadership is rooted in empathy, innovation, and resilience. The very qualities needed to navigate global challenges like climate change, economic instability, and digital disruption. However, the landscape of women entrepreneurs in Pakistan needs much attention. Despite comprising almost half the population of Pakistan, women own less than 1% of registered businesses. This represents both a challenge and an enormous opportunity. While the gender gap remains significant, recent efforts by State Bank are shifting tides. However, women still make up only 7% of total borrowers and 26% of bank account holders, showing the access remains limited and uneven. Here, it would be significant to introduce this August gathering to my chamber. Women Chamber of Commerce and Industry Lahore is a platform where we follow our vision, which is to create business environment that values diversity and inclusivity, where the entrepreneurs thrive and contribute to Pakistan's economic growth. We have around 4,000 members, formal and informal. Our foremost goals are policy advocacy, consulting services, workshops, trainings, tours, and exhibitions. Building international partnerships to promote women-led businesses for growth. There are numerous success stories, although it may seem like a drop in the ocean, but we feel proud to be playing our part. Our recent flagship project, Women Resource Center and Incubation, has incubated 250 women from diverse sectors across Pakistan. The success rate is, mashallah, 60%. Around 14 components are mentored, some of which are social media strategy, product development, value chain, web development, and use of AI for business. These women are entering into formal economy and have an access to markets beyond their localities. I feel we need to build stronger industry-academia linkages. Experts from academia need to understand challenges faced by women entrepreneurs, then design and disseminate AI training programs that cater to their needs, namely production, designing, marketing, customer behavior, sales trends, tax, and small business financial management. So they can cut costs, save time, and focus more on strategy. The experts from the academia can use online platforms and platforms like incubation centers and chambers for trainings. Here, I would urge to build more platforms like Women Resource Center and incubators across the country to create safe, innovative spaces for women to grow, and invest in digital infrastructure and AI literacy. Together, let's collaborate, innovate, and create a future that is brighter than today. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving on to our international keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Rohit Genç, who has traveled all the way from our brotherly country, Turkey, to be here with us today. Sir, we are truly grateful for your presence. Professor Dr. Rohit Genç holds a PhD in Management and Strategy from the University of Istanbul and has gained international experience in the USA, Canada, Germany, and France. Currently a full-time faculty member at the Turkish-German University in Istanbul, he specializes in tourism management, cross-cultural management, and business negotiations. Please welcome Professor Dr. Rohit Genç to the stage.
I am greeting Speaker Punjab Assembly Malik Ahmed Khan and of course Vice Chancellor Major General Khalil Dar, and to prepare this wonderful event Professor Dr. Rizwana Bashir, and not forgetting media representative and technical staff. Students, they are very important for us. Without them being here, we wouldn't be existing as a professor. So I'm very thankful to see a full audience here. That makes me feel really great. Not only that, where are we now? Where are we now? I will tell you. You wouldn't know. Can we go back to the first thing? No, not this one. The map, world map. Well, that shows countries represented here. Did you notice something? Pakistan is not there. Do you know the reason why? I tell you why. Because such a humble people, such a humble nation, culture. Well, I can say humiliating, and modesty. I don't know if there's another word. Down-to-earth people. Can you, I mean, this is Pakistan. Maybe you don't know where you are, you don't know your culture, because the fish discovers the water last. You are the fish in the water, and I am an outsider. By looking at this map, I can see with whom I am dealing with. Now, coming back to this slide. Now, as you see, the name represents global economic resilience. It sounds very good. Sustainable business, wonderful. Model innovation, business model innovation, sounds very good. But I am not here to teach you something new. If possible, I want to give you some question mark. After you leave here, you shouldn't have anything new but the question mark. Because which one is more important in our life? Question mark or the answer? Of course, the question mark. Because the questions are not changing, but the answers are changing a lot. When I say, okay, maybe I should stuck to here because the microphone.
It's working because you stuck it off.
Okay, wonderful. The question mark is not changing. As an example, when we say how many times you can divide atoms, maybe 100 years ago, the answer was no ways. What are you talking about? Nowadays, even in Pakistan has nuclear power, we know, you know how to divide atoms. Maybe in the future, the same question will be answered. How many times you want me to divide the atoms? So, now, if possible, I want to give you some, I want to present you some question mark. Number one, do we know the big difference between innovation and creation? Do we know this here? The other one, discovered. You know, America. I mean, it says here tourism, but take out tourism, put any sector that you like, it will not change the concept, it will not change the reality. There are so many things that we can talk about these items, but one thing I need to point out, certain companies do not work with others if they are not sustainable enough. One of the companies that comes into the scene is actually TUR. It's a German company. It's a touristic company. And if your hotel, your tourism facilities is not sustainable, they say, no, we're not trying to work with you. You have to be sustainable. And if you're not sustainable, they give you time. It's a limited time for you to make your thing sustainable, to make your company, your function, your whatever it is going to be. It's likewise ISO, International Standard Organization. So, you know what? If you have ISO, you have to work with those companies who do have ISO. What I mean here, one day, it is not going to be luxury to become innovative, to be sustainable because of the rules and regulations stipulated by the laws. And as an example, TUI and ISO, International Standardization Organization. They only work with ISO companies. ISO, and you ought to be work with another ISO companies. Well, I think I don't need to talk much about economic resiliences in front of such a knowledgeable audience. And it is, maybe there is one thing that I can underline here, the last sentence, environmental resilience. Strategies. What is strategy? I don't know if you, I'm sure you heard strategy, but do you know where does it come from? Many years ago, in Greece, Athens, they were attacked by Spartans. They were using same methods over and over again to protect themselves. The enemy was coming from the other side, the Athens was going this side, and they were fighting. Since they were not using something new, they were always using. One day, General Strategos said, well, we are using the same method to protect ourselves. We always lose. We have to do something new. Something new was to divide the army in 3 lines. One from the right, one from the right, one from the middle. They won. They won. Since then, we use the term strategy from General Strategos. So we have to be innovative. We have to use strategy even in our family life. Those who are married, you know what I'm talking about. Those who are not married, you will learn how to use strategy to market themselves to get married. And after all, to have a healthy marriage, you have to have really good strategy. Otherwise, I don't want to say otherwise. Well, again, the key factor for economic resilience. We all know these terms, but coming to the last point, innovation, digital transformation. Digital transformation. I think if you let me know what I mean with digital transformation, innovation, we talk a bit, but digital transformation is the next step forward. Here, when I ask how many different type of political system available around the world, you might say 2 different types. One is capitalistic, the other one is socialist or communist. But do you know any country which is that capitalist or 100% socialist, communist? No. It's always mixture. Likewise, here We have business model. This is the traditional model, the one that we know, like a one-man company. Even if they have 100 men, it's like a one-man company. It's traditional model, short-term profit. Well, tomorrow is tomorrow. The God is great. The God will help us, kind of thing. Of course, alhamdulillah, God will always help us, but we have to develop, we have to do things accordingly, like business model innovation. Business model innovation. And more developed than this one is innovative models. Innovative model. Without being innovative, we won't be able to exist. I'll give you one example that is quite remarkable. There is a company under the name of DHL. I'm sure you heard of DHL. They are doing international logistics activities and quite successful. And there is another company, Dell Computer. They signed an agreement for 10 years. DHL company was 10 years, and the yearly increase should not be more than 1 digit. It means 9% maximum. So every expenses in the country, I'm talking about the United States, is expanding like double digit, but they were using single digit. What was the reason behind? Well, at the end of the signing, people working for DHL told the CEO who is signing the deal, "You're crazy. You're making our company bankrupt." He said, "No, I'm not crazy. But starting from today on, we will be using innovative approaches in each and every part of our business." And at the end, both companies are still existing, and the person who signed the deal, who decided to apply innovative approaches for the company, he is the winner. Well, just type of sustainable business model. Again, we all know this. I will pass due to this time limitation. And today is Friday. I know what to do afterwards. And I'm being a little speedy. Same thing goes for sustainable strategies, business model innovation level. So most of the companies are using here defensive strategies. Then comes accommodative strategies. Then comes proactive strategies. So this is a development. This is a development. When we start with defensive one, then we, as a passing stage, we use accommodative strategies. Proactive strategies is going to be number one priorities, number one aim for all of us. But of course, in order to come up here, you have to use these steps. Today, we have 3 stages. Tomorrow, we don't know. That's going to be maybe the subject of next conference. Well, as an engineer, I have to put everything in formula. Because if you cannot measure, you won't be able to understand. Whether it's a social science or is mathematical science, engineering is all same thing. Everything is very clear cut. BMI implies the impact of business model innovation. And as you can see, that is the sum of technological development, total revenues, environmental regeneration, and there are some coefficients, when it means altogether BMI is the sum of these elements here. Very, very speedy. Technological development, not only for tourism, for each and every sector. It is a must. It is a must. I just show you a small example here. It's an innovation. On the winglet, the part of wings, the top part of the wing is called winglet. It's a small changes, but it is number one, cost efficient, like 30% fuel you can save, and at the same time, it's eco-friendly. Since you're using less fuel, you're eco-friendly. Again, I'm not going to repeat what other professors, speakers are deeply talked about it, informed about it, about the subject AI and automation. AI, as it is not going to change our world a lot. Because 45 years ago, I remember taking a course in Canada, in McGill University. I didn't understand anything about AI at all. It was a very basic level, very theoretical. When AI became so popular, 4 years ago, the inventor of AI told a newspaper that AI is quite dangerous for the humanity. AI is quite dangerous for the humanity. Since then, everybody was interested in looking into the AI because they want to understand why it is so dangerous. Yes, AI makes good combinations, but AI is not inventing something that is not existing or is not discovering something that is not existing. Well, I'm coming to the end. BMI plays a crucial role, but it's not going to change your life unless you make part of your understanding, unless you make your part of your everyday life. It is going to be remaining as a theory, a model, again, unless you make it part of your everyday life. I think this is over. Thank you very much for your patience.
Thank you so much, sir. That was indeed very engaging. Ladies and gentlemen, as you all know that we have the Honorable Speaker Punjab Assembly with us today, and we are very grateful that he spared so much time for us. So therefore, the rest of the keynote speeches and proceedings will continue afterwards. I will now invite the Patron-in-Chief, Vice-Chancellor, Lahore Garrison University, to please come forward and give his concluding remarks. And then we will request the Chief Guest, Speaker Punjab Assembly, who will also honor us by giving away the souvenirs to the keynote speakers and the panelists. Before I request the Vice-Chancellor, let's have a recap of the previous 2 days.
पूरी अपनी कौमी ज़िंदगी के अंदर दुनिया जितनी भी चली जाए, इंफॉर्मेशन जितने भी आ जाए, टेक्नोलॉजी जितनी भी आएगी, इस कायनात का मरकज़ ये फर्द है। इस फर्द की ज़िंदगी के अंदर पीस, कंफर्ट और इसको कलेक्टिव हम गोल देंगे तो हम एआई को हार्नेस करने में कामयाब हो जाएंगे। अभी क्या कि एहसास के अंदाज बदल जाते हैं, वरना आंचल भी उसी तरह से बनता है।
I think our academic leaders would have to be creative, understand where to fix it as a tool rather than taking it as a threat. If we take a threat, I think 80% of the population of academics would be wiped off. Academics, accountants, legal staff, paramedics, all gone. Rest, if we understand now and try to put it as a tool of convenience, I think we would start a generation of new creative academics.
जितना टाइम था हमारे पास इसके अंदर it was a very new concept of MVO, एक नया सॉफ्टवेयर हम लोगों ने आज सीखा है जिसके अंदर हम qualitative content analysis की कोडिंग वगैरह कर सकते हैं. So it was quite a good workshop और काफी informative session था. So I think these kind of sessions should be held regularly with inter universities and collaboration with other universities as well.
So this was a quick recap of the previous 2 days. I now request the Vice-Chancellor to please join us on the stage.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable Speaker, Punjab Assembly, Janab Muhammad Ahmed Khan Sahab, Professor Dr. Zakaria Zakir, VC, Poonch University, Rawalakot, respected guests from our brotherly countries, faculty members, and dear students. Assalamu alaikum and very good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, it's indeed an honor for me to welcome our honorable chief guest at the culmination of a very unique conference on the most desired topic of today. Ladies and gentlemen, this very slide shows the thrust line set as goals by Lahore Garrison University, I think which we did somewhere in last June, May-June. Successful conduct of this conference is the practical manifestation of our goal of collaboration and our emphasis on AI and entrepreneurship. I thank my Dean, Professor Dr. Rizwana, for having conceived an idea commensurating with the university's goal at such a scale and scope. That's highly commendable. I also thank Dr. Aftab from Poonch University and Dr. Naeem from Foundation University for collaborating with us. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, I'm not an academician. I have a different way of viewing the things, so I will speak in the same manner. Sir, my primary conclusions have been that AI revolution must be viewed as a productivity revolution. What started in 1790s after the introduction of power looms in Britain turned out to be a series of such revolutions basing on various technological advancements like steam engine, telegraph, telephone, internal combustion engine, computer, and internet, and now AI. This all is a process of growth by the mankind, and we should be proud of it. Each time it happened, it shortened the time loop, but this time, the time loop is so short that we need machines to keep up the pace with. That's the difference. And that's the area, sir, where we all need to work. Respect of time and time management is the foundation of our future. If you, my dear students, get only 4 hours of sleep average every night, then chances of being creative, which is the basics of an innovative mind, are very, very less. AI won't come for your help, I can tell you very frankly. You all have to think very seriously about it. Innovation, sir, is dependent on a particular mindset in a particular cultural trend, which has been well defined by the Western as the word entrepreneurs. 4 days ago in Punch University, and then 2 days ago in Rawalpindi, in Foundation University, I touched upon the glorious history of the Dutch people. Have we ever critically related that naval expeditions of 1890s of Columbus and Vasco da Gama were all financed by kings and queens of Spain and Portugal? Why? Because they had land and their wealth dependent on the agricultural produce. Dutch Republic had little money at that scale because their land was not productive relatively, being a marshland and prone to the floods and river swells every year. Their tough landscape nurtured them to collaborate and made the best use of what all they have, that is water and wind, and we know what all they have done. Then they came up with a brilliant idea, which was not an invention and which was not a discovery. It was an innovation, and that was the establishment of joint stock company in 1604. Just to relate it, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, 1604 is the time. It is 27 years before the Taj Mahal started to be constructed. And by 1650, Dutch had the largest fleet of merchant ships, that is 500 ships. Dutch mindset was the willingness to share the risk and to reinvest in the enterprise. Yesterday, while we were having a dinner in the walled city, I wondered that our Badshai Mosque was completed in 1673, and Dutch had 500 ships in 1650. 500 ships meant continuous flow of valuable spices from Far East, as the trip lasted 3 years. And only out of 5, 2 ships never came back. Such was the risk. But that risk was based on abilities and a spirit, and that's why there were higher returns. Sir, why I am highlighting this all is that the culture that valued trade, enterprise, with a strong emphasis on innovation and risk-taking, above all, the tradition of collaboration, that's what it made the difference. Britain and France had scientists. Scotland had inventors, but Dutch had entrepreneurs. You Google it, ask Google who had the most number of entrepreneurs. Dutch. So Dutch are the ones who made use of inventions, discoveries to their own advantage. And that is what the culture of entrepreneurship is. My point to highlight is that today's world, when the AI is there, only the entrepreneur mindset will be able to harness this AI and make AI to work for himself. Rest will serve the AI, or they will be redundant. We have to be prepared for that. Sir, my last thing will be that we have to innovate and we have to collaborate. And we have to work on the mindset of our future generation. With that, I thank you all, and I especially thank you. I know, sir, how committed you are. I couldn't be more grateful to you for honoring us. Same goes to MPS, who is our alumni from the same thing. Thank you very much to all.
Thank you, sir. Now I request our esteemed chief guest, Speaker Punjab Assembly, Malik Muhammad Ahmed Khan, to please grace the rostrum. And I would like to request you to please stay on the stage for the souvenir distribution afterwards. Please welcome our honorable chief guest.
नहमदहु नुसल्ली अला रसूलिहिल करीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम. Worthy Vice Chancellor, Garrison University, Lahore. Worthy Vice Chancellor, Rawalakot University, Poonch University, Rawalakot. Distinguished guests, Dr. Saab from Turkey, honorable members of the faculty, members visiting from abroad, dear students. I can see Khizr Khan is here. He is an old alumni. He is worthy member of our Provincial Assembly, Punjab, from Rajanpur. Indeed, it is a great honor for me to be part of this arrangement which you have made. And you are talking something which is exactly the need of the hour. You are talking about the sustainable models. Yes, it is the need of the hour. You are talking about AI, its impact, what AI can do to my society, what AI can do to the world, what AI can do to the climate. Yes, that is right. It is a dire need that we should be speaking of it. And how leadership can help in that. There's a dichotomy in leadership. There are situations in which you have to take decisions. Those decisions are not preset on an agenda. Sometimes there are situations. This AI might confront some situations. Trust me for that. I'm a student who just don't look at things hypothetically. I look at AI as AI is a developing region. Why I've used the word region? I've again drawn some interest from, as Dr. Saab, I was rephrasing it, as Dr. Saab from Turkey just said that how we brought this thing strategy into our course, that we have to strategize. And unless we strategize, even it is a matter of your decisions related to your households, or it is decision for your companies, or it is decision for your governance, or it is a fight between two armies, and if they don't strategize, what happens? And he referred to a general named upon which this strategy is based upon. And the word I used for AI, that we are entering into a region, is again, I'm taking that from a very Roman story. And story is interesting. I believe that my dear students would have a lot of interest in that. And the story is that the Greeks, they believed that there is an array of gods, a list of gods. It's not just one god. There are gods. There's a god of weather. There's the god of wellness, god of happiness, god of sorrow. A god who can create a thunderstorm is a different god. There's a god who has the power that he can give them the strength to win over the armies. This was all there. They were humans, those who were practicing it. Now, a recent research by the same author of Sapiens and Homo Deus, he writes it clearly that we human are in habit of creating something that which we cannot control. Is that the case? The word I'm using, region, I'm using deliberately. Are we humans creating something which will regulate our lives? Or are we just looking into those mythologies which Greek had before the Romans? They thought there are gods. But as we know, were there gods? Has the religion told us a different story from that? Do we humans keep on believing in it the way we are believing it? Or will it change? Quran, it says, जो बड़े दराज कद थे, मुल्कों में ऐसे ना थे, वो कौमें आद थे और पहाड़ों को तराश कर घर बनाते थे जो आज नहीं हैं. So, what are we looking at? Are we looking at a machine as in recent past, which you must be knowing that the Nazis destructed by that invention, they destructed the whole Europe, the Europe which the worthy Vice Chancellor was praising for their entrepreneurship and their innovations. But did those innovations just help the humanity, or was there a destruction at one time? Now, students sitting here, I just want to knock the door at your minds. I just want you, trust me for this is very close to my heart. When I received the invitation from the worthy Vice Chancellor, now look at the level of engagement I had. I have an elder sister. She is literally ill, and her son is getting married today, and I have to travel back to my home village. I have 3 meetings pre-scheduled, and almost like 15 to 20 people in each meeting, traveling from different places, coming here. But this dialogue is so important to my heart, I have rescheduled the whole details. I have come here just to put few words with the students, few words with the members of the faculty. Now, can I make, by any length of imagination, even I think of it, that the members, those who are sitting in my assembly, they will be making laws which will regulate the AI, and they don't know a word about AI? We are confronted with the situation. Will I be in my right minds to say that the governance should be put with the AI and those innovations or those discoveries or those strategies will be given in the hands of those who have not been rightly educated for AI? It will be a crisis, a serious crisis. Those who have to make laws, they won't be able to make it. Those who have to implement it, they won't be able to implement it. And ladies and gentlemen, dear students, there's a country in the world, Estonia. The whole government, 80% of the queries, they are just referring it to the AI, 80% of it. And what AI is doing there, that has to be seen yet. We humans have to see that what we did to our race, actually, what this machine will do to that. So is it for complementing the betterment of the society and humanity, or is it by just regulating it? In Pakistan, we have some very indigenous challenges. The challenges are manifold. We are lacking dialogue today. Yes, we are lacking. As I said, that the leadership is a dichotomy of leadership, that sometimes you have to make decisions with the human instinct. You cannot leave the role of the leadership with the machine. It could not be left, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, dear students, so the thought which I'm leaving with you today is that as I entered into the university today, I was really happy. I was really happy to see that the public responsibility which this university is actually advocating, they are bringing in good sentiment in the rural life. I'm really happy to see that because unfortunately in last 70 years of this country, the problem which we have had here today is कि मैं आपको ये यकीन से कह सकता हूँ कि आपकी सारी इन्वेस्टमेंट, आपके सारे वसाइल का रुख, आपकी पूरी हुकूमत की तवज्जो, आपकी सियासी जमातें, आपके अदारे, आपकी अदलिया, आपकी अस्करी बाजू, सबका रुख तवज्जो आपके शहरों की तरफ रही, देहात आपकी तवज्जो के तालिब हैं। वेल डन गैरिसन यूनिवर्सिटी, आप जो कर रहे हैं, आई रियली अप्रिशिएट दैट बिकॉज आई इन अ ट्रू सेंस ऑफ वर्ड आई एम अ विलेजर, और मुझे वहाँ की कसमपुसरी का, वहाँ की तकलीफ़ का, वहाँ के दुख का एहसास है। मैं मौजूदा हुकूमत का भी शुक्रगुजार हूँ कि जिन्होंने ये वसाइल का रुख अब देहात की तरफ किया है, जिससे फ़ायदा होगा। एंड ट्रस्ट में आपकी जो ये मिसमैच है, ये जब ख़त्म होगी अर्बन और रूरल की, तो उसके फ़वाइद आएंगे। येस, AI कैन हेल्प इन दैट। येस, AI टुडे कैन गिव मी सो मैनी रीजन्स टू बिलीव इन कि किस तरीके से इसके ऊपर हम जाके अपने वो एक सेटल्ड मॉडल्स क्रिएट कर सकते हैं, जिसमें आपकी वो बुनियादी चीज़ें जो मुश्किल आ रही है, लेट्स से फॉर एग्जांपल आउट ऑफ स्कूल चिल्ड्रन। अगर ये मुझे बताया गया था कि आ रहे हैं, एजुकेशन मिनिस्टर इज़ पुटिंग सम गुड हार्ड वर्क under the leadership of Chief Minister, and I believe that they will be able to, as a team, they will be able to enroll the more students as they are claiming. लेकिन अक्सरियत देहात में है। मैं एक छोटा सा वाक़या आपको सुना सकता हूँ कि मेरे हलके में, लाहौर से बहुत दूर नहीं है, it is just like 50-60 kilometers it starts. तो मैं किसी गांव में एक फातिहा कहने के लिए गया, तो I saw a boy, must be 12-13 साल की उम्र का होगा। तो I could figure out that he is not going to school just by looking at it. सिर्फ देखने से मुझे अंदाज़ा था कि ये स्कूल नहीं जा रहा होगा। तो मैंने उस बच्चे, he was very बड़ा अट्रैक्टिव बच्चा था वो, उसकी जसामत, उसका गोल सा चेहरा मेरी आंखों में नक्श है, उसका फूला हुआ जिस्म वो जैसे भी था, उसके बदन पे वो चीथड़ों जैसे कपड़े, उसके मट्टी से अटे हाथ, उसके पैरों पर पड़ी धूल, उसके चेहरे पे जमी गर्द मुझे इनवाइट कर रही थी कि मैं उसको हाथ से पकड़ के पूछूं कि बेटा ये इज दिस टाइम फॉर स्कूल, यू व्हाई यू आर नॉट इन स्कूल, क्यों नहीं गए हो? एंड ही सेज कि मैं नहीं गया। क्यों? मैं जाता ही नहीं हूं। क्यों नहीं जाते? मेरे पास वसाइल नहीं है। तुम क्या करते हो? मैं काम करता हूं खेतों में, फील्ड में। कितने पैसे मिलते हैं? 600 रुपया। मेरे घर में बहनें और मेरी माँ है। अनफॉर्चुनेटली आई डोंट हैव फादर, सो आई हैव टू फीड माई फैमिली। So I ask the people responsible that do you have a debtor? Answer was none. Do you have a debtor that young boy aged 12 years, a family he is feeding? How many similar cases in one village we have? It will be astonishing to know. 34 was the number. The boys under the age of 15, those who were feeding their family, it was a small village. 34 लोग थे वो बच्चे छोटे जो अपने घरों को चला रहे हैं, जो आज तक स्कूल नहीं गए। Ladies and gentlemen, I'm worried. At the same time, I will profess some hope here. हालात ये, इनको रुख कैसे तब्दील करना है। ये यूथ बिल 60% है, 60% of it is with me. This exploded population which I didn't control, I am at fault. I did not do the right distribution of resources, I am at fault. The policy maker is at default. He didn't perform right. All right. But it is not the end of the world. We can change it right standing here from today onwards. How? Let's double the budget. If we are investing 2% of the total budget or 3% of the total budget into the education, let's make it 5. Bring in AI. Give that education to that boy. Let's start with it. Let's give it to the schools at the rural centers where they are those primary schools. You can't even look at them. The buildings are horrifying. But I have a bulge of youth, which is 60%. The knowledge economy is there. I want to equip them with knowledge. I want to give them laptops. Chief Minister is doing it. Right, good. I don't want my children to have petrol ka bum or lathi in their hand. I just want them to be equipped with those right machines. So ye jo aapki knowledge economy hai, that has to expand. That has to go on. That has to, investment has to be made on that. So I think I won't bore you more. मैं आप बच्चों के साथ ये बात करते हुए अपनी बात को थोड़ा मुख्तसर करूँगा और ख़त्म करूँगा. Probably while I will be ending my note, I might take another 2-3 minutes because I do have a paper in my hand which I believe my staff must have arranged from your faculty. अगर ये जब मैं ये सजेस्ट कर रहा हूँ कि ये 60% यूथ है, तो ये 60% यूथ की एपेटाइट है. आप देखें जो स्मार्टफोन यूजर्स हैं, which reflects that these smartphone users are actually those who could be trained, educated, and made able for AI. If we don't, जो मेरी पहली आपके साथ आर्गुमेंट थी, वो हाइपोथेटिकल नहीं थी, वो बेस्ड अपॉन कोजेंट एविडेंस ऑफ हिस्ट्री है. वी हैव रिसेंटली सीन द वर्ल्ड वॉर II, कोई लंबी बात नहीं है. वी हैव सीन दैट द हाउ एंड व्हेन एंड इन अ मैनर in which it destructed the humankind. I have told you the story of Greek mythologies when it was thought that these are the gods and the gods are different and human created it, but still we have Quranic injunctions which spells it in a very louder manner that it is a different framework in which things work. अगर ये 60% यूथ आप इस तरफ ले जाएं तो इनोवेशन, डिस्कवरी, स्ट्रेटजी अब आप लोगों के हाथ में है. I know my generation, if you pull me back, I will not be very receptive. Receptive age is the age in which you are sitting. आज आप मुझसे बेहतर सीख सकते हैं, मुझसे बेहतर अमल भी कर सकते हैं. Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Vice Chancellors, I have literally tried my best in which I could say that such like arrangements which you have made should be more often. I have an old hall. It's a very ceremonial hall in assembly. I bring in people there from different walks of life, from civil society, from academia, and I make them interact for reasons like local governance, empowerment of women. I make them talk on labor rights. Make them talk on. मैं सख्त खिलाफ हूँ किसी मजहबी फतवे से डरे बगैर. मैं कम उम्र बच्चियों की शादियों का मुखालिफ तरीन शख्स हूँ और मैं उनको कहता हूँ कि खुलकर बात करो आके यहाँ पे. Please speak on it. How on earth it is against the religion मेरी समझ से बाहर है कि इसकी एज को कैप क्यों नहीं कर सकते आप, लेकिन बार कैफ. डायलॉग मुआशरे को तवाना करता है और मेरी इस वक्त जो अपरेंटली इस आपकी जो गवर्नेंस एफिशिएंसी है, if you won't be able to cope with the world, you will be left behind. And the systems have to be indigenous. Nobody will create it for you. You have to create it for yourself. Or can you leave yourself without the cyber security? Can you leave yourself for a system created by someone else? and leaving your defense strategy with them, your economic databases with anybody who has created for you. So these are these academic institutions, these universities, the academia, you have to look for it, that the model you create, so more hard work, more interactions like these, universities. It is very heartening to know that Garrison University is talking to Poonch University, Rawalakot, and the Vice Chancellor just told me that he, once he was there, how productive these sessions were. Those interactions were very productive. So, wishing you all the best for this purpose. Sir, keep it up, keep on doing it. And as we stand very low on global AI index, you must be knowing it. So all these universities, I believe that the government should wake up. The policy makers should wake up. They should be knowing this humongous challenge, which is not just coming with some low noise of any entrance. It is just coming with the full flow. So my request would be that we all should be sitting together, putting our heads down and working for the right framework for the AI. May it be legislative or may it be academics. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, sir, for your support and appreciation. We will now proceed towards the souvenir distribution. The first souvenir will be presented to Professor Dr. Rohit Ganj. Our panelist, Dr. Badli Shah Ahmed. Keynote speaker, Mr. Amir Mumtaz. Ms. Falahat Imran. Professor Dr. Sadur Rahman. Mr. Ehtisham Ali Raja. Our moderator for the panel discussion, Chairperson, Department of Management Sciences, Dr. Nayatul Haq. I now request the Honorable Chief Guest to please present souvenir to the conference chair, Professor Dr. Rizwana Bashir. I now request the Vice Chancellor, Lahore Garrison University, to please present souvenir to our Honorable Chief Guest, Speaker, Punjab Assembly. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
My very sincere apologies. I would have stayed the whole day, but as I have earlier said that I have some commitment, it doesn't seem appropriate and doesn't look nice even that I have to leave so early. But if your faculty and your Vice Chancellor agrees, I would request all the students to come and witness one of the assembly sessions, and so we can interact more. Thank you very much.
We will now proceed towards our next keynote speaker. Our next keynote speaker is Professor Dr. Saad Rahman, who needs no introduction at Lahore Garrison University. He has been mentoring our computer sciences accreditation, and today he has traveled all the way from Kanpur to be here with us. He is an experienced academic and researcher with over 20 years in computer sciences, currently serving as the Director General of Kanpur Institute and Technology. Please welcome Professor Dr. Saad Rahman.
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम अस्सलाम वालेकुम मुझे कोई रिस्पांस नहीं आया अस्सलाम वालेकुम दैट्स नाइस ठीक है सो आई थिंक इट वुड बी गुड इफ we can have a direct link with each other so अगर आप इजाज़त दें तो shall I start? Tell me how many of you are from management background, management sciences department. Please raise your hands. And how many are from CS department, computer science and computing? So once I got the invitation about delivering a talk on this topic, sustainability, AI, innovation and leadership. So I started off with, as an engineer would always do, go into the quantitative presentation. But once I was coming from Rahim Yar Khan yesterday, so I would request if all the audience can be a little bit quieter and just listen. As I was telling that once I got the invitation about presenting in this conference, so as would an engineer do, I just went into the quantitative analysis and just made my presentation. But yesterday once I was coming from Rahim Yar Khan, I just thought that once I just had the scroll the website, it was a management sciences. So I just thought, no, my direction is wrong. So I would be just expecting management sciences student. So today an engineer will teach you a little bit about management sciences. I hope that I will be able to make you feel better in this. So important thing which I had to see was sustainability, AI, innovation and leadership. So exploring how AI, innovation, leadership can converge. So basically these are 4 or 5 different things and my idea was to converge them on one single point. उसको कैसे इकट्ठा कर सकते हैं? So a little bit of my background. So I did my master's and PhD from UK and it was all government sponsored. Then I was a consultant at the Prime Minister Youth Program and I'm also the ex-member of Punjab Higher Education Commission. Over 18 years I am an ex-dean and ex-vice chancellor. Currently I am member of National Technology Council as well and also the Director General of Kanpur Institute of Technology. So just moving, so the convergence of the critical forces, so how we can just converge जो हमने सारा टॉपिक रखा हुआ है, how to converge them. So सबसे पहले एक जो चीज़ थी कि convergence के लिए we just needed something very important and that was the climate. I just thought of कि हमें एक एग्जाम्पल लेके चलनी चाहिए कि जिसके ऊपर हम सारी चीज़ों को कन्वर्ज कर सकें. सिंस आई वॉज कमिंग टू लाहौर और अगर मैं थोड़ा सा पीछे चला जाऊँ, सो अबाउट द स्मॉग एंड ऑल दोज, लाहौर वॉज इन द टॉप बेसिकली इन द मोस्ट पोल्यूटेड city in the whole world. So I just thought, okay, why not to have that in perspective? So key challenges, the key challenges which we have is the climate change, the resource depletion due to our population, social inequalities and biodiversity loss impacting our future. 2, and the AI as a tool. So we have been just discussing AI, how to, like, there are many school of thoughts, but what I think is that AI as a tool. One of the speakers was talking about ChatGPT. So being constant to change and adaptive to change. I've started using ChatGPT, Gemini and Copilot, all of these into my teaching methodology with the students. So I encourage them now, instead of कि वो जाएं और वो cheating करें, they should go and get these things done as an assignment. So enhance their skills. So the best thing is to use the technology as a leverage कि आप उसको कैसे use कर सकते हैं. Innovation role. So I think usually हम देखते हैं कि जी कि innovation is something which is very, very complex. But for me, innovation is solving a complex problem with a very easy solution. That is what innovation is. So innovation, as Minister Saab was talking about the knowledge economy, I think we are now shifting from knowledge economy to innovation-based economy. So that is how we are just now changing from leadership importance. That is how effective leadership provides the vision and guidance necessary to implementing sustainable practices. Presentation goal, exploring how these elements work together to build a resilient and sustainability. So why a sustainable future can't wait? Climate change, extreme weather, resource pressure and inaction consequences. ये 4 चीजें हैं basically जो हमें देखनी है. So understanding resilience in a sustainable context. So definition of resilience. What is resilience? So resilience is the capacity of a system to adapt and recover from shocks and stresses, ensuring sustainability. If हम एक किसी society की बात करते हैं, if we talk about any country, so अगर आप किसी एक incident से recover करते हैं, how quickly you recover, how quickly you sustain that, that is what resilience is. Key characteristics of resilience include adaptability. आप कितनी जल्दी adaptable हैं, डाइवर्सिटी कितनी आप में, सेल्फ रेगुलेशन कितनी और कलेक्टिव लर्निंग कैसी है आपकी. सो स्टेक होल्डर कोलैबोरेशन, इंटीग्रेशन एंड कोलैबोरेशन अमंग वेरियस स्टेक होल्डर्स. दिस कॉन्फ्रेंस इज द बिगेस्ट एग्जांपल कि जहाँ पे आपकी 3 यूनिवर्सिटीज़ ने कोलैबोरेट किया. आसान नहीं होता, इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट. Building resilience is inherently linked to sustainable practices, creating a loop of mutual enforcement. So, unpacking the power of artificial intelligence, AI technologies, you can just know AI technology, ChatGPT, just everybody is very well conversant with this AI. Data analysis, predictive analysis. I was just reading one of the posts in LinkedIn that an earthquake is expected in Pakistan next week. So God forbid, Allah Ta'ala bachaye. But predictive analysis help us to prepare in advance, in future, if there is any eventuality is coming, is there any other like rain is coming, flood is coming, so to help us prepare. Automation efficiency and decision support. So enhancing our understanding of the planet. So AI satellite image analysis, this is something which one of my startups did. Basically back in 2014 what we used to do, हमने उस टाइम पे AI थोड़ी बहुत यूज़ की थी. हम एक स्वीडिश सैटेलाइट से तस्वीर लेते थे ऑफ क्रॉप जो भी है एरिया का, फार्मर यूज टू मार्क हिज लैंड, और हम उसको सैटेलाइट से बेसिकली करके देते थे जो है सेगमेंटेशन ऑफ कि कौन सी क्रॉप ठीक है, उसमें से कौन सा एरिया ठीक नहीं है. सो दैट वी स्टार्टेड ऑफ इन 2014 एंड फॉर द जस्ट 20 रुपीज़ पर डे की ये एक स्टार्टअप था. Smarter resource management for a sustainable future, smart grids, we should go into smart cities. वो हमें देखनी है किस तरीके से हम स्मार्ट सिटीज़ बना सकते हैं, हमारे जो रिसोर्सेज हैं उनको कैसे हम मैक्सिमाइज कर सकते हैं. प्रिसीजन एग्रीकल्चर, दैट इज़ अगेन वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. AI ड्रिवन सप्लाई चेन एंड एडवांस वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट थिंग. AI is a tool to fight against climate change. So again, I've always said that artificial intelligence is a tool which we will use. So improving climate models, accelerating carbon solutions, optimizing energy consumption and supporting renewable energy. Solutions through innovation. So there are three kinds of innovations which I just see, that technological innovation, social innovation, business model innovation, which our esteemed guest also mentioned, and the policy innovation. So breakthrough technologies for a greener future, advanced renewable energy, green hydrogen innovations, sustainable materials development and carbon capture technologies. So new approach to sustainable living and commerce, circular economy models. Again, my esteemed Professor Saab talked about the circular economy, community-led initiatives, sustainable urban design and inclusive business models. The indispensable role of leadership. So that is something which we always say that we just see from the youth, that they are our future leaders. Sustainable leadership, the key qualities of long-term thinking, integrity and adaptability, collaboration importance and skillful communication. The power of collective action, collaboration, successful partnerships, examples of collaboration and innovative solutions. Navigating the ethical landscape of AI, bias and fairness, transparency, data privacy, job displacement and accountability frameworks are basically the major factors. Innovation and leadership in urban environments. So AI optimization, innovative design, community leadership and experimental sites. So transforming agriculture for a food secure future. So the transformation of agriculture is crucial for ensuring food security in the future with advancements in AI, innovative crop solutions, effective leadership and investment. Redefining our relationship with resources, circular economy, AI optimization, leadership and innovative business models. navigating the path to sustainable and resilient world, technological challenges, social and regulatory gaps, behavioral changes, and growth of green jobs. Tracking our journey towards a sustainable future, key sustainable indicators, renewable energy adoption, social equity and well-being, and role of AI in data analytics. The future is on our hands. AI innovation, collaboration, and inspiring hope. So that is the end. And if you have any questions, you may please ask. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest of honor has arrived. Please welcome Mr. Rana Sikandar Hayat, Minister of Education. Sir, we are honored to have you here with us today. We previously had a panel discussion and then we moved on towards our keynote speeches, and now we'll be proceeding towards the conference chair address. The Department of Management Sciences at Lahore Garrison University remains committed to advancing AI, innovation, and leadership for a sustainable future. Through initiatives like this conference, we continue to bridge academia and industry, fostering meaningful collaborations. Ladies and gentlemen, we have finally arrived at a moment where we conclude our so-called 3-day conference, which in fact was a 7 days long undertaking that included traveling of over 1,000 kilometers. So who could be more appropriate than our own, the one and only Professor Dr. Rizwana Bashir, Conference Chair, to give her concluding remarks. Please welcome Professor Dr. Rizwana Bashir.
Thank you, Komal. And for exaggerating the extent of the conference and the efforts, please see me in my office on Monday. Respected guests, keynote speakers, scholars, researchers, faculty, students, and dear colleagues, Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon to all of you. On behalf of the organizing committee of 5th ICMS 2025, it gives me great pride as I stand here today to deliver the closing remarks of what has truly been a remarkable and impactful 3 days academic journey. I would still call it a 3 days as we had our conference spanning on 3 days. So allow me to begin by thanking our distinguished guests who have truly elevated the conference with their wisdom and presence. We are deeply honored to have been joined by Mr. Malik Ahmed Khan, Honorable Speaker of Punjab Assembly, Mr. Rana Sikandar Hayat, respected Education Minister of Punjab, Professor Dr. Zakaria Zakir, Vice Chancellor, University of Poonch, Rawalakot. We are grateful for the invaluable global insights shared throughout the conference. Our sincere thanks go to our international keynote speakers, Professor Rohit Ganj, who traveled all the way from Turkey to be with us today, Mr. Amir Mumtaz, he came from New York, and Professor Dr. Badli Shah Ahmed joined us from Malaysia. We also extend a deep appreciation to our national keynote speakers, Dr. Saad Rahman, Director General, Kanpur Institute of Technology, Ms. Falahat Imran, President, Women Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Their participation has significantly enriched our discussion here in Lahore. We truly appreciate our panelist, Dr. Suleiman Shahid from LUMS-X, Ms. Kawal Chima, founder and CEO, My Impact Meter, Mr. Ehtisham Ali Raja, Program Director, NBAC, and Dr. Beg Zadeh for the insightful contribution and for enriching the important discussion. It is also encouraging to see overwhelming energy brought by over 100 students who came from University of Management and Technology to engage with these discussions with their professor, Dr. Hamad Raza. Thank you very much for being part of this. Ladies and gentlemen, from the serene heights of University of Poonch Rawalakot to the nation's capital at Foundation University, and now concluding here in the heart of Pakistan at Lahore Garrison University, this conference has not only spanned across regions, but has also built intellectual bridges between academia, industry, and government. Such collaborations or such conferences by universities have immense impact. The Edelman Trust Barometer 2024 shows that across globe, people are increasingly placing their trust in scientists, educators, and businesses to lead the way towards a sustainable future. In Pakistan, this reflects the growing faith in academia and youth-led innovation as forces for change. Our universities and research institutions must now rise to the responsibility. This is why ICMS 2025 is not just another academic conference, it serves as a platform for reflection, collaboration, and transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most remarkable aspects of 5th ICMS has been its spirit of collaboration. This collaborative environment has significantly benefited University of Poonch Rawalakot, particularly in strengthening their business faculty. As we all know, when innovation is driven by collaboration, it paves the way for truly sustainable growth. This year's theme, Sustainable Future, Artificial Intelligence, Innovation and Leadership for a Resilient World, was thoughtfully selected to reflect the pressing realities we face today. As we navigate an era earmarked by rapid technological change and economic uncertainty, the convergence of AI, innovation, and forward-thinking leadership has become essential, not just for academic discussion, but for real-world resilience and progress. According to the recent PWD report, AI is projected to contribute more than current output of China and India combined by 2030. In parallel, the World Bank notes that climate change could push over 130 million people into poverty by 2030, unless decisive innovation-driven actions are taken. These statistics underscore the interconnectedness of innovation, sustainability, and inclusive leadership in our collective future. Now turning to our own region, the UNDP's National Human Development Report highlights that 64% of Pakistan's population is under the age of 30, making us one of the youngest nations in the world. This creates both a remarkable opportunity and a pressing responsibility to equip our youth for future-ready, digital-first, and environmentally conscious skill set. Another report on AI Readiness Index, also highlighted by our chief guest today, ranks Pakistan 133rd out of 134 countries, placing it among the lowest in digital readiness globally. Moreover, a State Bank of Pakistan report also notes that over 90% of Pakistan's SMEs still operate informally with limited access to digital tools, AI, or innovation-led infrastructure. These gaps not only hinder our economic competitiveness, they jeopardize our resilience in a rapidly evolving global landscape. If I've seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. This phrase was famously used by Isaac Newton in 1675, letter to Robert Hooke. The quote emphasizes that advancement in knowledge and discovery are built upon the work of those who came before. This is why our theme chosen this year is not just a topic of discussion, it is a call to action for all the stakeholders. As we reflect on 3 days of this insightful conference, the key takeaways have powerfully reinforced our theme. From insights on sustainable practices in manufacturing and ethical AI, to call for interdisciplinary research and globally shared knowledge, our distinguished keynote speakers emphasized that responsible innovation must be embedded in both education and practice. The need for green consumption of the local resources, AI-driven opportunities for educated but unemployed women in AJK, and student-led entrepreneurship rooted in local challenges. Most importantly, we were reminded that AI is not a threat, but a powerful tool to amplify human potential, provided we are ready to lead with vision and adaptability. In today's keynote speaker session, as Amir Mumtaz Sahab talked about reordering of powers and highlighted financial and trade fault lines, Ms. Falahat emphasized the role of women in building a resilient world and also shared the role of Women Chamber of Commerce and Industry in supporting the women entrepreneur with a significant rate of success. Professor Rohit reflected upon the global economic resilience business model innovation, which is crucial for achieving sustainability. He very rightly mentioned the key factors for economic resilience as diversified economies, strong institutions, and shared the sustainable business model and strategies. Dr. Saad, being the last speaker of the day, talked about convergence of critical forces and unpacked the power of AI for the sustainable world. The 5th edition of ICMS in many ways was the most impactful one yet, and we aim to keep this tradition alive each year with more inclusive and interdisciplinary participation, connecting scholars, practitioners, and policymakers from around the globe. In the days to come, we'll be initiating conference proceedings, policy recommendations, follow-up collaborations, proposing joint research projects, and encouraging co-publication opportunities across the institutions. These conversations are not ending here, they are beginning here. The real impact of this conference will unfold as we take these discussions to our universities, our boardrooms, our classrooms, and the communities. The real impact also lies in the connections it inspires and the actions it encourages. Because a sustainable future is not just the responsibility of one sector, one discipline, or one region. It is something we must all build together. Ladies and gentlemen, in the end, I would say that a conference of this scale is never work of one person. It's a collective achievement. I truly appreciate the efforts of 3 collaborating universities and especially the conference committees. 2, my faculty, student organizers and technical staff and volunteers. Your energy, professionalism, and tireless efforts have made this possible. To the researchers, thank you for trusting this platform. To our students, thank you for showing up with open minds and hearts. You are the reason we are gathered here. So, thank you for being part of this dialogue. We look forward to seeing you in the 6th International Conference in 2026. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am, for being a constant source of support and motivation. I will now request our guest of honor, Mr. Rana Sikandar Hayat, Minister of Education, to please come forward and share his views with us. Please welcome our guest of honor.
Thank you. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Honorable Vice Chancellor, esteemed guests, powerful ladies from the chamber, Vice Chancellor, guests from Turkey, all of the superstar students, Assalamu alaikum. I will take only 5 minutes because I know aaj Juma hai. First of all, I want to apologize that I got here with a 45-minute delay because we were doing a live program and I'm holding this since the morning and this in my jacket, but there's 2-3 things that I want to speak out primarily. Speak about the power of artificial intelligence, which is, I think, the most important equalizer. As a country, we've missed a few things in the past 2-3 decades. I can go on and on about questions as a young Pakistani on where my IIT is, on what was done in AI for the past 3-4 years by us. So I think, speaking as Education Minister, I don't find a lot of big examples on where we've actually taken AI seriously. But this year, we are going to make 2 centers of excellence for the public sector and the private sector universities so we can finally begin work on artificial intelligence. And we will facilitate all the government and private sectors, otherwise including the industry, on whatever work they can get done through artificial intelligence. I also want to announce I met the Honorable Vice Chancellor and we've actually started working together for the betterment of education. So हमेशा यही कहा जाता था कि public sector university students को scholarships दें, public sector university students को laptops दें. So inshallah, from the upcoming year, we have, well, for the last year we had 11 universities including LUMS, FAST, NUST, BNU and a lot of other big names, जिनमें हमने होनहार स्कॉलरशिप दी, जिसका मतलब है कि आपकी 4 साल की फीस जो है वो चीफ मिनिस्टर पंजाब और होनहार स्कॉलरशिप से पे हो रही है. So this year we want to make Lahore Garrison University our partner as well, and inshallah the students from LGU will be eligible to apply for the said scholarship ताकि आप financially independent हो सकें. और साथ ही साथ लैपटॉप्स पब्लिक सेक्टर स्टूडेंट्स के लिए क्यों, प्राइवेट सेक्टर स्टूडेंट्स के लिए भी होने चाहिए. And I want to ask a very simple question to all of you. How important are gadgets and laptops for the students? Are they important? Can you please raise your hands and tell us and how important they are? They are very important, right? So you think the Chief Minister's laptop program should continue and it should expand to the private sector universities. I will send this very sad request to the Chief Minister, and inshallah, the vision is that we are never going to ask you which political party you voted for. We are never going to deny or give you a scholarship on what your race and religion is, because we believe that every student who dreams big, who wants to excel, our Chief Minister has given me this mandate that our access to higher education, we were just speaking about it, and I met a great lady from here, from this university, who's working in the rural villages, that our access to higher education, so Bangladesh में इस time, higher education में 17-18% बच्चे translate हो रहे हैं, इंडिया में 26 से 28% हो रहे हैं, हमारे पास सिर्फ 8% हो रहे हैं. So our game should be, our plan exactly is the same way, that in the next 5 years our access to higher education should at least double, and we should beat Bangladesh and be very close to India. And then our global international rankings for our universities. I'm telling the students the right disciplines to study. So हमने होनहार scholarship scheme में जो 67 disciplines eligible किए हैं वो कौन से हैं? वो डिसिप्लिन्स हैं जो पूरी दुनिया में 2050 तक जिनकी डिमांड है, जिनसे आपकी एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी बढ़ेगी, जिनसे आपको बाहर के ममालिक में जाने का मौका मिलेगा। एंड आई वाज रिक्वेस्टिंग ऑनरेबल वाइस चांसलर कि ये अलाइड हेल्थ साइंसेज की स्ट्रीम फॉरेन से शुरू करें। और हमारी जो होनहार स्कॉलरशिप है, इसका 62% ऑफ द टोटल नंबर इज गोइंग टू फीमेल स्टूडेंट्स, विच इज अ बिग एडवांसमेंट टूवर्ड्स वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट। बिकॉज जब तक हम खवातीन को इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटीज नहीं देंगे, we need to understand, we need to accept this, that it is difficult to move forward unless we give equal opportunities to all the females. So we're giving out scooties to the students. We've started a fund for the young entrepreneurs to apply, where they can fulfill their dreams through a program or a project that they submit for funding to the provincial government. And last part, through our school outsourcing program, we've outsourced about 11,000 schools. 1,15,000 jobs हमने create की हैं, और schools हम किन्हें दे रहे हैं? आप जैसे youngsters को who graduate from here and are looking for resources. They have the drive, they have the vision, they can do all the mehnat that is required. They are just in need of the resources. तो जब हमने अपना स्कूल और रिसोर्सेज उन यंग लोगों को दिए हैं, ट्रस्ट मी, आई वाज इन यूएमटी yesterday, वहाँ के 9 ग्रेजुएट्स ने हमारे स्कूल्स लिए, एंड 1 स्कूल ऑन फिरोजपुर रोड जिसमें सिर्फ 18 बच्चे थे, अब वहाँ अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह 250 बच्चे पढ़ते हैं 6 महीने बाद. एंड वी आर सेविंग टैक्स पेयर्स मनी एज वेल, बिकॉज वी आर स्पेंडिंग ओवर 4,000 on a student, and through the school outsourcing we are spending only 1,500. Making EdTech schools, working on out to school children, very massively linking every kid with Nadra, because my dream is that every kid should be in the schools. And leading from the front, मैंने अपने बेटे को एक सरकारी स्कूल में दाखिल कराया ताकि आप सबका ट्रस्ट बन सके सरकारी स्कूल्स पे. I am doing everything that I have in my capacity. My chief minister donates her salary. I donate my salary every month to the star teachers and underprivileged children. We are bringing in scholarships for the students who dream big but don't have the resources. We are bringing in laptops from the 30th of April, inshallah, ek hafta reh gaya. We are giving out scooties to the females who want to access their higher education, universities and colleges. We've started our pink buses, we did the pink games, and now, inshallah, I was giving the good news to Honorable Vice Chancellor. इस समर्स में इंशाल्लाह 600 इलेक्ट्रिक बसेस आ रही हैं पंजाब में, एंड चीफ मिनिस्टर हैज़ बीन वेरी काइंड कि हमारे मेजर रूट्स जो हैं, ऑल ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स ऑफ पंजाब विल हैव अ स्टूडेंट कार्ड एंड फ्री ट्रांसपोर्ट फैसिलिटी फॉर द एंटायर प्रोविंस. आप लाहौर से भावलपुर जाना चाहें फॉर अ कोर्स इन IUB भावलपुर, BZU भावलपुर, योर ट्रैवल इज गोइंग टू बी फ्री. You want to travel to your university, your travel is going to be free. And smartly, we talk about sustainability because the buses are electric. The Vice Chancellor also will not have any PUL or fuel charges to pay. So with this dream, with this vision, with this wish, with this prayer that we young people can turn things around, and I at 38 years, I am an example in front of all of you कि मैं पहली दफ़ा पार्लियामेंट में आया हूँ, मैं पहली दफ़ा एजुकेशन मिनिस्टर बन गया, and we honestly are doing our best. So given the chance, young people can do wonders, and every political party says this. So this is one tip that I want to give to you, that हर political party आपको आगे यही कहेगी कि 65% नंबर जो है वो यूथ का अंडर 35 है, हम उनके लिए बहुत काम कर रहे हैं. बट हमारे पास 3 एग्जाम्पल्स हैं. पंजाब में प्रोविंशियल गवर्नमेंट है PMLN की, सिंध में प्रोविंशियल गवर्नमेंट है पीपल्स पार्टी की, और KP में प्रोविंशियल गवर्नमेंट है PTI की. तो आप यंग लोगों को मैं एक रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहता हूँ कि तीनों जो हमारी प्रोविंशियल कैबिनेट्स हैं उनकी एवरेज एज निकालें, और जिसमें यंग लोग ज़्यादा हैं उसने यंग लोगों के लिए काम किया. दैट इज़ अ फेयर जस्टिस to everybody. So God has given you brains to think with sane brains on who you want to vote for. That is not our domain. But inshallah, rest assured, for the next 4 years, your stories are going to be printed in The Economist. The Indian Times will write about you. We will forget the Indian Punjab revolution under Kejriwal, and inshallah ta'ala, this education revolution in Punjab is going to be #1 in the world, because one belief that I have is everything else in the world can wait. Education cannot wait a second, not anymore. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. I now request the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Lahore Garrison University, and the conference chair to please present the souvenir to our guest of honor.
And I also forgot to tell you that with the partnership with Google, पिछले 1 साल में हमने 50,000 पब्लिक सेक्टर स्कूल्स के बच्चों को Google CS First और Google Gemini जो उनका AI का टूल है उस पर ट्रेन कर लिया, और Google ने 50,000 में से 37,000 को सर्टिफाई भी कर दिए, और 1,000 टीचर्स को भी वो सर्टिफिकेशन दे रहे हैं. So not only colleges and universities, schools also are going to be aligned with the best global practices. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. As we finally approach the conclusion of this insightful conference, we express our gratitude to everyone who contributed to its success. We extend our deepest gratitude to all guests, participants, speakers, and attendees whose contribution made this event a success. We especially thank our host institutions, University of Poonch Rawalakot and Foundation University Islamabad, for their invaluable support and shared commitment to academic excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, we now invite you all to proceed to the entrepreneurial gala, which is taking place in the main ground. Please note that you all are requested to please be seated and let the guests leave first. Jummah prayers will be offered at 1 p.m. With this, we officially conclude the 5th International Conference on Management Sciences. Once again, thank you all for making this a remarkable journey. Stay safe, take care, Allah Hafiz.